Hello champions, I hope you are doing well. So in this video, we are going to revise the whole of LLP Act 2008. It's going to take us around 2.5 hours. But what I'm going to promise you is that this revision is going to be very different from everything else that you've seen out there. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what is my objective behind making this revision. Now from LLP Act, you're going to get solid 10 marks in your question paper. Part of it is going to be MCQs and part of it is going to be descriptive questions. And these 10 marks, according to me, are your easiest 10 marks because there's not much scope of complication in this chapter. So what I've tried to do in this revision is, yes, I've taken time. I could have finished it in 1.5 hours, but I took my time. What I did is, I did not just give you a revision in this video. I also ensured I made you learn through the video. So you will find me giving you a revision. Then you will find me giving you a revision of the revision. Then a revision of the revision once again. So like that, I kept taking, 3 to 4 concepts. I gave you the first revision, then summarized again, then gave you one more revision, then went to the next set. So like that, the whole objective is that you should not just be watching this video to recollect concepts, but also whatever learning has to be done for you in this chapter, the descriptive part of the learning, it should get done with me with this video itself. After the video is over, the only thing you will be left with in LLP Act is going through the past questions, going through the case-based MCQs and sorting that part for yourself. Okay, so on that note, I think I'm really excited to see how beneficial this video is going to be for you, because I know for a fact that this is going to be a game changer when it comes to your LLP Act preparation. So starting off with some very basic things. Now the LLP Act came into force when? It came into force on 31st March 2009, relevant from your MCQ point of view. Now this LLP Act 2008 is administered by MCA and ROC, same like companies. Like how even companies are administered by MCA and ROC, even the LLPs are also administered by MCA and ROC. Okay. Now there are various terms for which the LLP Act has given definition, but there are multiple terms for which LLP Act has not given definition. For whatever terms LLP Act has not given definition, for those terms, the same definition which is given in Companies Act, that same definition will apply. Are you listening, everybody? So LLP Act has come into force when? On 31st of March 2009. It applies to the whole of India. This act is administered by MCA and ROC for words and expressions for which LLP Act does not provide definitions. For those words and expressions, where will you look for definitions? In the Companies Act. Alright guys, now listen, coming to the main point of LLP. LLP is a hybrid. Hybrid means what? It's a combination between company and partnership, which means what we're doing is we're taking the best feature of company, the best feature of partnership, putting it together, and that's how we get the LLP. Now what is the best feature of the company? Limited liability. In company, you know, right, the shareholders are having limited liability. The shareholders, are they liable for the debts and obligations of the company? No. So in a company, the shareholders enjoy limited liability. Same way, even in an LLP, the partners enjoy limited liability. So we have borrowed the limited liability feature of the company. Then we have borrowed the flexibility feature of partnership. What is this flexibility feature? See, Partnership Act, when you must have learned about the Indian Partnership Act in your CA foundation, you must have learned that there are a lot of things for which the decision making is left with the partners, with the partnership firm. Like what are the rights and duties of the partners? What are their obligations? It is all decided amongst the partners, amongst themselves through the agreement. So in a partnership, there's a huge benefit in the form of flexibility, where the Partnership Act has given much lesser rules and all the rights and responsibilities and duties and all are decided by the partners by themselves. So the same way we have the flexibility feature even in an LLP. Even in an LLP, we will have the LLP agreement. The LLP agreement will make a decision about the rights and responsibilities and all. So what have we done over here? What happens in an LLP? LLP is nothing but a hybrid. Hybrid means what? It's a combination. It's a combination of what? It's a combination of company and partnership. We have taken the best feature of company, the best feature of partnership, put it together, and that's how we have the LLP. Which feature of a company have we taken? Limited liability feature. Which feature of partnership have we taken? Flexibility. And that is how the LLP has been created. Everybody's perfectly clear? Yes, and by the way, LLP, Limited Liability Partnership, it's a partnership, but however, it is not a partnership under Partnership Act 1932. No, it is a partnership which is formed and registered under which act? Under LLP Act. So LLP is a partnership, but not under Indian Partnership Act 1932, but it is a partnership which is formed and registered under LLP Act 2008. Everybody crystal clear till here? Yes, step by step we will go, concept by concept we will go, and we will ace it all. Alright, now coming to the main point in our LLP discussion, the first main point. We just discussed that in LLP we have flexibility. And how do we have flexibility? The flexibility is through the agreement. Just like how we have an agreement in partnership, same way we have an agreement in LLP also. Now listen to me. In partnership, you must have learned that the partnership agreement can be either orally made or it can be made in writing. But however, in LLP, no choice. In LLP, the agreement has to be written agreement only. Now this written agreement will be an agreement between whom? It will be an agreement between the partners of the LLP. It will also be an agreement between the partners and the LLP. So how many relations are defined by the agreement? Two relations, guys. The LLP agreement defines the relationship between the partners amongst themselves, and it also defines the relationship between the partners and the LLP. That is why if you see, the LLP agreement will contain the mutual rights and duties of partners, which means the rights and duties of partners amongst themselves. It will also contain the rights and duties of partners in relation to LLP. It will also contain what rights and duties partners have towards the LLP. Are you understanding? So the entire LLP agreement is going to have, it's going to define two relationships. It's going to define the relationship between the partners amongst themselves. It will also define the relationship between the partners and the LLP. Alright guys, now listen. So what are the points? Point number 1, the LLP agreement has to be a written agreement only, and point number 2, it defines two relationships. Now comes point number 3. In the LLP agreement, there are totally how many contents? Totally 8 contents in the LLP agreement, guys. Look at them one by one. The first one, the name and address of the partners. No, wait, even before that, first one, name of LLP. Second one, name and address of partners. Number 3, the capital contribution. Number 4, what is the profit sharing ratio between the partners? Number 5, the remuneration of the partners. Number 6, the rights and duties of the partners. Number 7, what business is the LLP going to carry on? And number 8, what are the rules that will govern the LLP? So inside the LLP agreement, there will be totally how many contents? Totally 8 contents. Now listen, a very important point. If the LLP wants, the LLP can have an agreement of its own, or if LLP wants, LLP need not prepare an LLP agreement. If it doesn't prepare an LLP agreement, what will happen? One sample LLP agreement is given in Schedule 1. That sample LLP agreement will apply. So either LLP will have to create its own LLP agreement. Otherwise, what will happen? The sample LLP agreement which is given in Schedule 1, that will be deemed to be the agreement of this LLP. Tell me crystal clear, guys. This was my first page. Come on. Once again, what are our learnings? Let's do a revision of the revision. Are you with me? Yes. Point number 1. The LLP Act 2008 came into force when? On 31st March 2009. It applies to the whole of India. It is administered by MCA and ROC. Then for whatever words and expressions, definition is not given in LLP Act. For all those words and expressions, where will you look for the meaning? In the Companies Act. Then after this, we learned that LLP is a hybrid between what? Company and partnership. Then it is which feature of company are we taking over here? The limited liability feature. Which feature of partnership are we taking? The flexibility feature. Then we learned even though LLP is a partnership, it is a partnership which is formed and registered under LLP Act, not Indian Partnership Act. Yes, even LLP is a partnership, but it is a partnership formed and registered under LLP Act. Then we learned in LLP we require the LLP agreement. It has to be a written agreement only. It can't be an oral agreement. This agreement will define how many relations? It will define two relations: relation between the partners amongst themselves and the relation between LLP and the partners. Then in case the LLP does not prepare its own agreement, then the sample agreement given in Schedule 1, that will come into the picture. And then we learned the 8 contents of the LLP agreement. All clear? Now come on guys, let's move on to our next big discussion, a very important discussion about the partners in LLP. Multiple questions will get covered over here. How do I become a partner? How many partners do we need? Who are the designated partners? What is their responsibility? Then what about the resident partner? Then what if there's a casual vacancy in the office of designated partner? Do we have to inform ROC about designated partners? A lot of questions will get covered for us in this one discussion. Are you ready? Come on guys, let's go through this step by step. My very first question, how do I become a partner of an LLP? There are 2 ways for me to become a partner in the LLP. The first method is by becoming a subscriber to the incorporation document. Now you will ask me, ma'am, what is this incorporation document? Simple. You tell me, in Companies Act, we have Memorandum of Association, the most important document for a company, the Memorandum of Association. In the MOA, we have the Association Clause, Subscription Clause. Persons who sign that association clause, subscription clause, they become subscribers of the company, and subscribers automatically become members of the company. Same way, guys. Just like how we have MOA in Companies Act, same way we have incorporation document in LLP Act. Just like how we have subscribers to the MOA, same way we have subscribers to the incorporation document. Just like how subscribers to the MOA automatically become members of the company, same way the subscribers to the incorporation document will automatically become partners of the LLP. Understood. So the first method to become a partner is by being a subscriber to the incorporation document. Incorporation document little more in detail we will be seeing anyways a little later. So whoever is a subscriber to the incorporation document will automatically become a partner of the LLP. Point number 1. Then also there's one more method, the most common method of becoming a partner, and that is through LLP agreement. In the LLP agreement, the name of the partners will be written. So how do I become a partner of the LLP? There are two routes for me. Route number 1, I can be a subscriber to the incorporation document. Route number 2, through the LLP agreement. Okay, now listen, that was the first question, that how do I become a partner? Now comes the next question, how many partners do we need? And one more question, who can be the partner? Both will get covered for you in this second point over here. First, how many partners do we need? We need minimum 2 partners, at least 2 partners. Can I have 1 partner? No. Can I have 2 partners? Yes. Can I have more than 2? Can I have 3 partners also? Yes. I need minimum 2 partners, which means 2 or more than 2 partners I need. Now, who will these partners be? These partners will either be individuals or they will be body corporates. So, totally how many questions we have seen now? 3 questions we have seen. Our first question was how to become a partner, either by being a subscriber to the incorporation document or through LLP agreement. Second question is how many partners will be there? Minimum there will be 2 partners. Third question, who will become the partner, either individual or body corporate? Okay, now tell me, how many things we have to learn about now? Individual partners, body corporate partners, 2 things we have to talk about. Can we finish off body corporate partners first? Yes. First of all, who are these body corporates? I'll straight away take you to the body corporate definition and then we'll come back. See, body corporate has been defined by LLP Act. Body corporate can become a partner of the LLP. Now, who is this body corporate? If you look at the definition which is given by the LLP Act, the definition has 3 parts. The first part is who is a body corporate? Body corporate means what? Then body corporate includes what? Then body corporate does not include what? There are 3 parts in the definition. Very simple definition, guys. Part 1. Body corporate means company as per 2 clause 20 of Companies Act 2013. Nothing but Indian company. Then number 2, body corporate includes what? It includes 3 things. It includes LLP registered under LLP Act 2008. Which means what? Which means an Indian LLP. Then it includes an LLP incorporated outside India. What does this mean? Nothing complicated, it will mean a foreign LLP. And lastly, it will also include a company incorporated outside India, basically or foreign companies. So body corporate means what? It means company as per Companies Act. It means LLP as per LLP Act. It also includes foreign LLPs, that is LLPs incorporated outside India. It also includes foreign companies, that is companies incorporated outside India. But what does it exclude? Who is not body corporate? There are 3 exclusions. Number 1, corporation sole. Now, what is corporation sole? Very simple. Corporation sole is an office where the person keeps changing. Like for example, president is an office. Now, the person who will be the president, that person will keep changing. Bishop of the church, it's an office. Now, who is the bishop? That person will keep changing, but the office will remain, guys. That is called as corporation sole. So corporation sole is nothing but office. The person in that office will keep changing, but that office will remain. That corporation sole, that office cannot become body corporate. Cooperative society cannot become body corporate. Any other body corporate notified by the central government cannot be body corporate. Crystal clear, guys. So who is body corporate now? Body corporate means company as per Companies Act, also includes LLP as per LLP Act, also includes LLP incorporated outside India, company incorporated outside India, but does not include how many people? Does not include two people, corporation sole and cooperative society. These are not body corporates. Now come back to my discussion. We were learning who can be partners in the LLP. We said even individuals can be partners, even body corporates can be partners. So who is body corporate? You've understood, guys. Come on, let's make a summary of the summary now. Who is body corporate? What have we finally learned? Body corporate is how many people? 4 people. Body corporate will mean what? It will mean company as per Companies Act. Then it will include what? LLP as per LLP Act. It will also include a company which is incorporated outside India. It will also include an LLP which is incorporated outside India. So I will also include foreign company, I will also include foreign LLP. But please keep in mind, corporation sole excluded, not a body corporate. Cooperative society excluded, not a body corporate. Perfect clarity. So with this body corporate we've understood. Now come on, let's shift our focus to individuals. Even individuals can be partners. Now who are these individuals? Individuals should not be of unsound mind, which means they should be of sound mind. Then individuals should not be undischarged insolvent. They should not be insolvent. Also, they should not have submitted application to be adjudicated as insolvent. Now what does this mean? I'll help you understand both of these with the help of this table over here. It's very simple, okay? There's a huge process to become an insolvent. I'm not going into that process in depth. I'm just telling you the main things in that process. There are generally 3 steps in the process, okay? If a person has to be declared as insolvent, first of all, that person has to file an application in the court saying that I'm not able to, repay my liabilities. I'm not able to meet my obligations. Please declare me insolvent. So first an application has to be filed to be declared as insolvent. Then the court will declare you as insolvent. Once the court declares you as insolvent, court will appoint an official receiver for you or an official assignee for you who will take off all your assets and your liabilities, sell away the assets, get money, and in the best manner possible pay off your liabilities. Once the whole insolvency process is over, once your liabilities are settled with whatever little assets you have, then that person is discharged from insolvency, which means he is not an insolvent anymore. So total how many steps? Total 3 steps. So if you are an undischarged insolvent, which means you are not discharged yet, you are still an insolvent, court has not discharged you yet, you are still an insolvent, then you cannot be a partner of the LLP. Then the third bucket over here, you have filed an application. You have filed an application means what? You are only in the first step. Have you been declared as insolvent? Has the court declared you as insolvent yet? No, court has not even declared you as insolvent yet. You have just gone and filed an application, gone. You cannot become a partner of the LLP. So who can be a partner? Individual also, body corporate also. Body corporate means what? Body corporate means company. It includes LLP, it includes foreign company, it includes foreign LLP, but it does not include corporation sole, does not include cooperative society. Individual means what? Individual means that person should not be of unsound mind, which means he should be of sound mind. He should not be an undischarged insolvent, which means he must be solvent. And also he must not have filed an application to be adjudicated as insolvent. As soon as you file application, gone, you will become disqualified, you cannot become a partner. Thorough, everybody. So with this, how many questions have we learned? 3 questions we have learned. How to become a partner, then how many partners we need, and who can become a partner. 3 questions we have learned. Now listen, this is just a reiteration of what we have already learned, just like a revision. Alright, tell me, can individual be a partner? Yes, that individual can be resident, non-resident, overseas citizen, foreign national, doesn't matter. Any individual can be a partner. Just that, he should not be of unsound mind, he should not be insolvent, he should not have filed an application to be adjudicated as insolvent. That's all. Then tell me, can an LLP be a partner in another LLP? Yes. How? Simple. LLP will come under body corporate. Body corporate definition has LLP. So even LLP can become a partner of another LLP. Then can even foreign LLP be a partner? Can even a foreign company be a partner? Yes. How? All of these will come under which bucket? All of these will come under body corporate bucket, and becoming a body corporate, they'll come under this category. Body corporates can be partners. Are you following everybody? Yes, so LLP, Indian LLP, foreign LLP, Indian company, foreign companies, they can all be partners of the LLP. But tell me, can a cooperative society be a partner? No. Why? Because cooperative society is excluded from body corporate. It is also not individual, so it can't be a partner. Can corporation sole be a partner in the LLP? No. Why? It is excluded from body corporate. It is not an individual, therefore it cannot be a partner in the LLP. Then tell me, can a HUF be a partner in the LLP? Even HUF, if you see, it is not a body corporate, it is not an individual, so even HUF can't be a partner. Then tell me, can a trust be a partner of an LLP? Even trust, if you see, it is not a body corporate, it is not an individual, so even trust cannot be a partner. So who can be a partner? Body corporate and individual, only these two can be partners. Okay guys, now listen, so whoever are the partners, how many partners we need? But we need minimum 2 partners, whether body corporate, whether individual, all put together we need minimum 2 partners. But what if the number of partners falls below 2? What if we have only one single partner? Then what will happen? Immediately nothing will happen. We will give the LLP how much time? We will give the LLP 6 months time. In the 6 months, what LLP should do? In the 6 months, they should bring the number of partners back to 2. What if 6 months have lapsed but we still have one partner only? Then what will happen? What if 6 months have lapsed but we still have only one partner? Then in that case, that one partner whom we have, right, that one partner will have to suffer from a consequence. Now what is a consequence? That one single partner whom we have, that one single partner will become personally liable. But he will become personally liable for what? He will become personally liable for LLP's obligations. Which obligations of the LLP? Those obligations which were incurred after the 6 months period. For those obligations he will become personally liable. But if this consequence has to apply, first of all a precondition has to be fulfilled. What is a precondition? The precondition is that one single partner whom we have, that one single partner, he must first of all be aware. He must be aware of what? He must be aware of the fact that LLP was carrying on business with just one single partner. With him alone, LLP was carrying on business for more than 6 months. He must be aware of this fact. Then only the consequence will apply. Can we do this once again? Will you do it with me? Come on, let's revise this once again. So how many partners we need? Minimum 2. Is even exactly 2 okay? Even exactly 2 is okay. Now what if the number of partners falls below 2? What if we have only one single partner? Immediately will something happen? Immediately nothing will happen. How much time will we give the LLP to rectify this? How much time will we give LLP to again bring the number of partners back to 2? 6 months. Within 6 months, if we are able to do it, great. But no guys, 6 months have lapsed. We still have only one single partner. Now what will happen? Consequence. Consequence, who will suffer from the consequence? LLP. Not LLP. Who will suffer from the consequence? That one single partner we have, right? He only will suffer from the consequence. What is the consequence? Till now he was having limited liability. Now he will become personally liable. Personally liable for whose obligations? For LLP's obligations. All the LLP's obligations? No. He will become personally liable only for those LLP's obligations which were incurred after the 6 months period. For those obligations only he will become personally liable. But for him to become personally liable, what are the preconditions? The precondition is that he has to be aware of the fact that LLP was carrying on the business with him alone for more than 6 months. He must be aware of this fact. Only if he is aware of this fact, he will suffer from the consequence. Got it, everybody? So this was about our discussion. And by the way, you know, right, something very similar we have in Companies Act also. Even in Companies Act, we have this point that what if your number of members falls below 2 in a private company, falls below 7 in a public company. Something very similar you have even in Companies Act Section 3A, right? Same thing we have even over here in LLP Act. Okay, so this was our entire discussion about partners. Now see, how many ever partners we have, out of the 2 partners, minimum 2 individuals, at least 2 individuals have to become what? They have to become designated partners. So tell me, can a body corporate be partner? Yes. But can a body corporate be designated partner? No. Are you listening to me? Listen. Individual, body corporate, I'm comparing these two, okay? So can they be a partner of the LLP? Individual can be a partner, body corporate can be a partner. But can they be designated partner? Can individual be designated partner? Yes. But can a body corporate be designated partner? No. So whoever are the individuals, out of the individuals, at least two individual partners have to become designated partners. But problem. What problem? What if in my LLP there are partners, and what if all the partners are body corporates? Then what will you do? Then in that case, the body corporates will have to nominate some individuals. They have to nominate some individuals, and the individuals whom they nominate, they will become the designated partners. Okay, so out of the individual partners, at least two individuals have to become designated partners, and in case all the partners happen to be body corporate, then the body corporates will have to nominate two individuals. Those two nominees will become the designated partners. Okay, then out of the designated partners, at least one designated partner has to be a resident. Resident means what? Very simple. Resident means you must have lived in India for at least 120 days in the financial year. Okay guys, so this entire discussion, I want to give you one final revision. Listen to me everybody. So whoever are the partners in the LLP, they can be individuals also, they can be body corporates also. Out of the partners, at least two individuals have to become what? Designated partners. Then out of the designated partners, at least one designated partner has to be a resident. Resident means what? You must have lived in India for at least 120 days in the financial year. Okay, then listen, coming to my next point, our next discussion is purely about designated partner. How can I become the designated partner of an LLP? You tell me, how many routes did you have to become a partner? Remember, to become a partner, two routes I showed you. First route was through the incorporation document. Second route was through LLP agreement. Something very similar, guys. If you want to become a designated partner, here also you have two routes. The first route is through the incorporation document, and the second route is through the LLP agreement. So how do you become a designated partner? Again, two routes we have. Route number one, you can become a designated partner through incorporation document. Either incorporation document will specify who will be the designated partner. Incorporation document will give a list. This person will be designated partner, or incorporation document can say that all the partners will be designated partners. Like that also incorporation document can say. But what if incorporation document is silent? Then in that case, we will come to the LLP agreement. Whatever LLP agreement specifies, whoever LLP agreement specifies, they will become designated partners. So how do I become a designated partners? How many routes do I have? Here also I have two routes. First route, incorporation document. Either incorporation document will give a list, or incorporation document will say all the partners are designated partners. But if incorporation document is not saying anything, then we can come to the LLP agreement. Here also it will be mentioned who is a designated partner. It will be mentioned even over here. Okay. Then listen guys, if I become a designated partner, what will happen? A lot of responsibilities you will put on me. What kind of responsibilities I will show you? I will just skip some concepts and I will come to the liability of designated partner. Just look at this, okay? You will realize what kind of responsibilities the designated partner is having. He is responsible for legal compliances to be done by LLP. He is liable for penalties imposed on the LLP for non-compliance. Which means who is responsible to ensure that LLP fulfills all legal compliances? Designated partner. He is the one who is responsible for legal compliances. By chance, LLP does not fulfill some legal obligation. By chance, LLP does some non-compliance. Who will be punished? Whatever penalty is there, who will have to bear? Designated partner will have to bear. So are you able to imagine what kind of responsibility I am dumping on the designated partner? He is the one who is responsible to ensure that all the legal compliances are properly complied with by the LLP. So which means I am putting on him big huge responsibility. So don't you think I have to first check with him that is he okay with taking up this much responsibility or not? That is why we have the concept of prior consent. If I appoint a person as designated partner, he has to give a prior consent saying that yes, I am willing to take this big responsibility on my shoulders. I am willing to become a designated partner. He has to give a prior consent first. Only then we can make him designated partner. Logic or understanding? So the designated partner will give the prior consent to LLP. What will LLP do? Within 30 days from the appointment of the designated partner, the LLP will file the particulars of the designated partner with the ROC. Understanding? So designated partner will give written consent to the LLP saying he is willing to be appointed as designated partner. Then once the designated partner is appointed, from the date of appointment within 30 days, the LLP will file with the ROC the details of the designated partners within 30 days. All right, everybody, till here clear. Then designated partner should have either DPIN or DIN, at least one he should have. Designated partner identification number, director identification number, any one he should have. Both are interchangeable. Like see, actually, directors in Companies Act, they need DIN. Designated partners in LLP Act, they need DPI, they need DPIN. But both the numbers are interchangeable. Why? Because both the numbers are allotted by whom? DIN, Companies Act, MCA, DPIN, LLP Act, again MCA. So both are allotted by whom? MCA only, right? So therefore both these numbers are interchangeable, which means if I'm a director of a company, I need DIN. I don't have DIN, but I have DPIN. I can use that. I am designated partner of an LLP. I need DPIN. I don't have DPIN, but I have DIN. I can use that. So DIN and DPIN, even though they are two different, even though they are having two different contexts, but still they can be used interchangeably. Okay, then listen, what if there is a vacancy in the office of designated partner? Like what if the designated partner dies? Or what if he resigns? What if he leaves the LLP? Or what if he becomes insolvent? Or what if he becomes of unsound mind? What if there is a vacancy in the office of designated partner? Then the LLP has to fill that vacancy within how much time? Within 30 days. What if they don't fill the vacancy within 30 days? If they don't fill the vacancy, then all the partners will become deemed to be designated partners. Okay, so this was our entire discussion about partners. Can we do one final revision of the entire partners discussion, guys? It was very, very crucial for us, right? So before this, we first learned some basic points. We learned that LLP came into force on 31st, LLP Act came into force on 31st March 2009, whole of India. Definitions not given in LLP Act, you will refer which act then? Companies Act. Hybrid between what? Partnership and companies. From Companies Act, which feature have we borrowed? Limited liability feature. From partnership, which feature have we borrowed? The flexibility feature. That's how we have the LLP. Then LLP agreement, can it be oral? No. It has to be in written only. Then this agreement talks about how many relations? 2 relations between the partners amongst themselves and between partners and LLP. LLP agreement will have how many contents? 8 contents. What if LLP is lazy LLP? They're not preparing their own LLP agreement. What will happen? No problem. Sample is given in Schedule 1. That itself will become the LLP agreement of the LLP. Then we learnt about partners. Carefully tell me, how do I become a partner? How many options I have? 2 options. Either through incorporation document or through LLP agreement. Whoever is subscriber of the incorporation document will become the partner, or through LLP agreement. How many partners do I need minimum? Minimum 2 partners I need. Who will be the partners? Either they will be body corporates or they will be individuals. Body corporate means what? It means company as per Companies Act. Body corporate includes what? Includes 3 things. Includes LLP, includes company incorporated outside India, and LLP incorporated outside India. Body corporate excludes what? It excludes corporation sole and cooperative society. Then individuals. Individuals should not be of unsound mind. They should not be insolvent. Also, they should not have filed an application to be adjudicated as insolvent. Then, can a cooperative society become a partner? No. Can a corporation sole become a partner? No. Can HUF become a partner? No. Can trust become a partner? No. Only body corporates and individuals can become partner. Then we need minimum 2 partners. What if the number of partners falls below 2? What if we have only 1 partner? Immediately will anything happen? Immediately nothing will happen. We will give the LLP how much time to rectify everything? We will give the LLP 6 months time to rectify. Within 6 months, if they are able to bring the number of partners back to 2, great. If they are not able to bring it back to 2 within 6 months, what will happen? Consequence. Who will suffer from the consequence? LLP? Not LLP. The partner will suffer from the consequence. What consequence? He will become personally liable. Personally liable for whose obligations? For LLP's obligations. All the LLP's obligations? No. He'll be personally liable only for those obligations of LLP which have been incurred after the 6 months period. But will this consequence have a precondition? Yes. When will this consequence come into the picture? Only if that partner is aware of the fact that first of all, for more than 6 months, LLP has done business with him alone as the partner. Then tell me guys, how many designated partners we need? Out of the individual partners, minimum 2 individuals have to become designated partners. What if I'm having body corporate, only body corporate as partners? Then what will you do? The body corporates will have to nominate some individuals. They will become designated partners. Then out of the designated partners, minimum 1 designated partner has to be a resident. Resident means what? 182 days. No. Resident means minimum 120 days you have to be in India. Then how to become a designated partner? How many routes we have? Even over here, 2 routes we have. Either the incorporation document will specify the list who is designated partners, or incorporation document will specify everybody is designated partner. But if incorporation document is not specifying, then we'll come to LLP agreement. LLP agreement will give us a list. Then the designated partner has a lot of responsibilities. You remember, full legal compliance responsibility is on the designated partner. So because I'm putting so much responsibility on him, what do I need from him? Prior written consent saying that he is willing to act as designated partner. Designated partner will give written consent to whom? To LLP. LLP will give to whom? To ROC. What will LLP give to ROC? Particulars of designated partners. When will LLP give it to the ROC? Within 30 days from the date of appointment of the designated partner. Okay, designated partner mandatorily needs which number? DPIN. But he doesn't have DPIN. He is having DIN. Will you be okay with it? Okay. DPIN and DIN can be used interchangeably. What if there is a vacancy in the office of designated partner? Within 30 days, LLP has to fill the vacancy. What if the LLP is not filling the vacancy? Then all the partners will become deemed to be designated partners. Sorted. Yes guys, my whole objective, I'm hoping you're realizing, is not to just quickly give you a revision and keep moving on. I also want to ensure that your learning gets done with me. That's why I'm hoping you're noticing I'm giving you revision of the revision multiple times so that you can keep repeating with me. If not in the first time, second time it will get into your head. If not in the second time, third time it has to get into your head. The learning has to get over together with us. Okay, then come to our next discussion. Our next discussion is about the characteristics of LLP. Very simple discussion guys, total 10 characteristics. Okay, first characteristic is LLP agreement. You already know about it. Can it be in oral? No, it has to be written only. It talks about how many relationships? 2 relationships between the partners amongst themselves and between the partners and LLP. So LLP agreement you're already aware of. It talks about the rights and duties of the partners. Then LLP agreement is a body corporate, just like company, it's a body corporate, it's an artificial person. Then the third characteristic of LLP, it has perpetual succession, which means even if the partners die, LLP will still continue. It only by winding up process only we can bring LLP to an end. Otherwise, it will continue forever. There is perpetual succession. Then number 4, LLP is a separate legal entity, just like company. So whatever assets LLP owns, the assets are LLP's own assets. The assets are in LLP's name. Liabilities are in LLP's name. Then number 5, mutual agency. Mutual agency point you have to be a little careful. Okay. There is an element of mutual agency in LLP, but it is not to the extent of partnership. In partnership, what happens in Indian Partnership Act? There, if you see, every partner is an agent of other partners. If one partner does something, it will be as if all the partners have done it. So each partner can bind all partners. That is how you must have learnt in Partnership Act 1932. But in LLP Act, what happens is, each partner is an agent of whom? He is an agent of the LLP. So is a partner agent of other partners? No. The partner is an agent of LLP. So if the partner does something, the partner will bind whom? Will the partner bind other partners? No. The partner will bind only the LLP. So there is an element of mutual agency, but it is slightly different over here. The partner in an LLP is not an agent of other partners. He is an agent of the LLP. The partner, by whatever act he does, he binds not the other partners, he binds the LLP. So there's an element of mutual agency over here. Then comes our 6th characteristic. Can you create a company for profit objective? Yes. Can you create a company for charitable objective? Yes, we have Section 8 companies. Can you create an LLP for profit objective? Yes. Can you create an LLP for charitable objective? No. So you have Section 8 company. Similarly, you don't have an LLP. So LLP has to be created for profit only. It cannot be created for charity. Then comes the 7th characteristic of LLP. It is an artificial legal person, which means what? It is not a natural person. It did not come into existence by birth. It came into existence by following a proper incorporation process which is given in the LLP Act. It's an artificial legal person just like company. Then number 8, just like how companies have common seal, guys, even LLP has common seal. But just like how in company common seal is not mandatory, even in LLP also common seal is not mandatory. The common seal has to be kept in the custody of a responsible official. It has to be affixed in the presence of at least 2 designated partners. Then this feature you are already aware of. In LLP, the partners have limited liability. That's the most important characteristic, right? The partners have limited liability, which means the partners have to only be liable to the extent of the capital which they promised to contribute to the LLP. Once they have brought in their entire capital contribution, beyond that, they will not be personally liable for the LLP's obligations. So their liability is limited to the capital contribution which they promised to bring to the LLP. Then number of partners, you already know. Body corporates, individuals can become partners. We need minimum 2 partners. Out of the partners, minimum 2 individuals will become designated partners. Out of the designated partners, minimum 1 designated individual partner will become resident. Resident means you must have stayed in India for at least 120 days. So minimum 2 partners we need. Out of the 2 partners, minimum 2 individuals will become designated partners. Out of the designated partners, at least 1 designated partner has to be a resident. Resident means you must have stayed in India for at least 120 days in the financial year. There is no 182 days business over here. There is 120 days criteria over here. 10 characteristics, guys. Tell me the characteristics one last time. The first characteristic, LLP agreement has to be in written. Then body corporate. Then perpetual succession. Then it's a separate legal entity. Then there is some extent of mutual agency. These are the first 5 characteristics. Then I can create LLP only with profit objective. I cannot create LLP with charitable objective. Then LLP is an artificial legal person. Common seal is not mandatory, but the partners have limited liability, and the minimum number of partners, we spoke about that also. Some more characteristics. Yes, LLP is invisible, intangible and immortal, but it is not fictitious. It is a real entity. Who manages the LLP? The partners manage the LLP. But who is responsible for legal compliance? Remember we learned who is responsible for legal compliance in LLP? The designated partners are responsible. Then LLP cannot be formed for charitable objectives. It has to be formed with profit objective only. Then just like how central government has the power to investigate companies' affairs, same way central government has the power to investigate LLP affairs also. Then in case any compromise or arrangement or merger, demerger and all has to be done, it has to be done following the process which is given in the LLP Act, which we will be learning as a last concept in our LLP chapter. Then a firm, a partnership firm can be converted into LLP. A private company can be converted into LLP. An unlisted public company can be converted into LLP. For firm to be converted into LLP, for private company to be converted into LLP, for unlisted public company to be converted into LLP, process is given in Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule 4, process is given. But are you noticing what cannot be converted into LLP? Listed company. If it's a listed company cannot be converted into LLP. And finally, whatever documents have to be filed by the LLP, documents, return, statement, whatever has to be filed by the LLP, it has to be electronically filed with whom? With the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Alright guys, so it is invisible, intangible, immortal, but it is not a fictitious entity, it's a real entity. The partners manage the LLP, but designated partners are the ones who are responsible for legal compliance. Then LLP cannot be formed for charitable objective. Central government has the power to investigate LLP's affairs just like companies' affairs. Then compromise, arrangement, merger, demerger, everything has to be following the process given in LLP Act. Then firm, partnership firm can be converted into LLP. Private company can be converted into LLP. Unlisted public company also can be converted into LLP. But what cannot be converted into LLP? Listed company can't be converted into LLP. Then whatever documents have to be filed, everything has to be done e-filing. Everything has to be electronically filed through Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. Alright, then listen to our next discussion. So what are the things we've learned till now, guys? First was our basics point, then we learned about the hybrid point, then we discussed about LLP agreement, then everything about partners we spoke about, and then now we spoke about the characteristics, the features of LLP. Then body corporate we've already discussed. Now come to something really important, capital contribution. Important guys, especially from MCQ point of view, listen little extra carefully. See the capital contribution in an LLP. can be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 5 forms. It can either be tangible or it can be intangible. See, the partner is going to give his capital contribution to LLP, right? That capital contribution can be in 5 forms. It can be tangible, it can be intangible. It can be tangible, for example, it can be plant and machinery, or it can be a piece of land, or it can be cash, it can be money, or it can also be intangible like patents or trademarks. Then the capital contribution can be movable or it can be immovable. It can be movable, for example, some furniture, or let's say some plant and machinery, or it can be immovable, like for example, some office space. It can be money, or it can also be promissory note. Then this is interesting, okay? It can be an agreement to contribute cash or property, which means it can be a promise. It can be a promise that I agree to give you so much cash or so much property in the future. Not right now, but I can enter into an agreement saying that I will bring in the future so much cash or so much property. So it can be an agreement to contribute cash or property. And the most interesting point, the capital contribution can also be in the form of services. Like for example, let's imagine I'm a partner of the LLP. And let's imagine I'm a lawyer. So I can tell the LLP that my capital contribution will be in the form of my legal service to LLP. Understanding? So the capital contribution can also be in the form of a service. So capital contribution can be tangible, intangible, movable, immovable, money or promissory note. It can also be an agreement that in the future I will bring cash or I will bring property, and it can also be contract for service. But listen guys, in case a capital contribution has to be, in case it happens to be in kind, or in case it happens to be in the form of these services and all, we still have to find the monetary value of the contribution. Why? Because it has to be properly accounted and disclosed in the books of accounts of the LLP. So if the capital contribution happens to be in kind, we still have to find the monetary value of the contribution because it has to be accounted. It has to enter into our books of accounts. Okay. Then tell me, does the LLP Act say how the contribution should be? Does the LLP Act say this much contribution you have to bring, this much contribution you have to bring? No. The entire discussion, the entire decision is made by whom? By the LLP agreement. How come? Remember, flexibility feature, right? So we are giving full flexibility to the LLP. You decide. In the LLP agreement, you decide which partner has to bring how much contribution in what form. Partners decide amongst yourselves. The LLP Act is not going to put too many obligations on you. So partners' obligation to make the contribution will be as per the LLP agreement. Each partner has to bring how much money. The decision is as per the LLP agreement. Got it guys? So contribution can be in 5 forms. Even if it is in kind, I have to find the monetary value. Why? Because I have to disclose it in my books of accounts, and each partner has to bring how much contribution. It should be as per the LLP agreement. Okay, now are you ready for my next point? Till here, are you perfectly clear with everything? Yes, come on, come to our next discussion. Our next discussion is about the name of the LLP. Now, every LLP should have the words limited liability partnership or LLP in the name, so that everybody who enters into a contract with LLP should know that, okay, this entity is an LLP. So therefore, every LLP should have the words limited liability partnership or LLP. They must have these words in the name. The name of the LLP should not be undesirable. Also, it should not be identical or resemble the name of another existing LLP, another existing company, or another existing registered trademark. Something similar you have in your Companies Act as well. Section 16. Something similar you have. There are some differences between that and here. What's the difference? In Section 16, in Companies Act, we say that the name of the company should not be identical or similar to the name of another company or registered trademark. There we don't talk about LLP. Here we're talking about LLP also. So in LLP's name, if you see, how many points? 2 points. Point number 1, every LLP should have the words limited liability partnership or LLP. These words they should have in the name. Then second point, the name of the LLP should not be undesirable. It should not be identical or it should not resemble the name of another existing LLP, another company, or another registered trademark. But no, it is resembling. Now what will happen? It is resembling. Now what will happen? The name of my LLP is exactly similar like the name of another LLP. What will happen now? There's a process. In that case, that other LLP or that other company or the owner of that trademark with whose name my LLP's name is similar, that LLP, that company, or the owner of that trademark will file an application to whom? Will file an application to the central government. Now, central government will then pass an order asking my LLP to change name within 3 months. Once I change the name within 3 months, we have to inform the ROC about it. We have to inform the ROC within 15 days. When we go to the ROC, how many things we have to take to the ROC? 2 things. The notice of the name change, and we also have to give to the ROC copy of central government's order. ROC will make changes in the certificate of incorporation of the LLP. Once ROC makes the change in the certificate of incorporation, the LLP will have to make the necessary change in the LLP agreement also within 30 days. What change in LLP agreement, guys? Do you remember I had shown you the 8 contents of LLP agreement? In that 8 contents, do you remember one of the contents was name of LLP? So in LLP agreement, I have the name of the LLP, right? Here we are changing the LLP's name. So even in the LLP agreement also, we'll have to remove the old name and put the new name within how much time? Within 30 days time. Tell me now, can the LLP's name be similar to the name of another LLP? No. Can the LLP's name be similar to the name of another company? No. Can the LLP's name be similar to the name of another registered trademark? No. But tell me, can the LLP's name be similar to another trademark? I'm not saying registered trademark. I'm saying trademark. Can the LLP's name be similar to the name of another trademark? Yes. Can the LLP's name be similar to the name of another partnership firm? Yes. It should not be similar to what? It should not be similar to the name of another LLP, another company, or another registered trademark. Did you understand the significance of this word registered? Okay, so come on, can we do this entire revision once again? Now this revision will be slightly different. I will keep asking you questions. No matter which part of the country you're sitting in, wherever you're sitting, you will try to give me the answers. Okay, tell me, LLP's name should have what word in it? Should have limited liability partnership or LLP. That word should be there in the LLP's name. Then the LLP's name should not be how many things? It should not be 2 things. It should not be undesirable. Get the keywords right. It should not be undesirable. It should not be identical. It should not resemble. It should not resemble how many things? 3 things. It should not resemble the name of another existing LLP, another company, another registered trademark. But go, it is resembling. What will you do? If it is resembling, then that other LLP, that other company, that other trademark with whose name my LLP's name is similar, that other entity will straight away go to whom? Central government. And what will they do? File an application. What will central government do? They will ask the LLP to change the name. Within how much time? Within 3 months time. Once LLP changes the name within 3 months, what LLP will do? Inform whom? Inform ROC. Within how much time? Within 15 days time. When they are informing the ROC, how many things they will send to ROC? 2 things. Notice of the change and copy of central government's order. What will ROC do? ROC will make a change in the certificate of incorporation. Once ROC changes certificate of incorporation, what LLP should do? Open LLP agreement. In that LLP agreement, make the change in the name within how much time? Within 30 days time. Crystal clear. In the memory. One last time. Just this part alone, one last time, just this part. Because the first part you are clear. First part is simple. Name of the LLP should have a limited liability partnership or LLP in its name. It should not be undesirable. It should not be identical or it should not resemble the name of another existing company, another existing LLP, another registered trademark. Till here you know. This part alone, one final time. What if the name of my LLP is identical or if it resembles the name of another LLP, company or trademark? What will happen? Then that LLP, that company, the owner of that registered trademark will straight away go to whom? Central government. File what? Application. What will central government do? Ask the LLP to change name. Within how much time? Within 3 months time. After changing the name, what will LLP do? Inform whom? Inform ROC. Within how much time? Within 15 days. When we are informing the ROC, how many things you have to take to the ROC? 2 things. What are the 2 things? Notice of the change, copy of central government's order. What will ROC do? ROC will make the change in certificate of incorporation. Then once ROC changes certificate of incorporation, LLP has to change something. What? LLP agreement. In that LLP agreement, remove the old name, write the new name within how much time? Within 30 days time. Perfect clarity. in the memory. Yes, guys, nicely registered in the memory. Now listen to me. There is a very, very, very important point. This important point is applicable only if the name of the LLP is similar to the name of another registered trademark. Then in that case, the owner of that registered trademark will apply to the central government, right? He has to apply to the central government within 3 years from incorporation of the LLP. Tell me, is this 3 years time limit applicable if the name of my LLP is similar to the name of another LLP? No. Is this 3 years time limit applicable if the name of the LLP is similar to the name of another company? No. Is this 3 years time limit applicable if the name of the LLP is similar to the name of another registered trademark? Yes. So in that case, the owner of the registered trademark cannot take his own sweet time to come to the central government. He has to come to the central government and file the application within 3 years from the incorporation of the LLP. Sorted, everybody? Then what if LLP is lazy limited liability partnership? Name of the LLP itself is lazy LLP, which means what is the LLP doing? LLP's name is similar. Central government has asked the LLP to change the name. But shameless LLP, 3 months have come and gone. LLP has not changed the name. Then what will happen? Are you understanding? Central government is asking the LLP to change the name within 3 months. No, but LLP is not changing. Now what will happen? Central government itself will allot a new name to the LLP. ROC will put that new name in the register of LLPs. ROC will give a new certificate of incorporation to the LLP containing that new name which central government allotted. That new name will now become the name of the LLP. But now LLP is not okay with the name. Can LLP change the name? Yes, LLP can, however, later of course change the name, follow the usual process of changing the name, and LLP can change the name later. But did you understand this consequence, everybody? What is the consequence over here? First of all, when will the consequence apply? If the name of the LLP is identical or similar to the name of another LLP or company or registered trademark, central government will ask the LLP to change within 3 months. If LLP does not change the name within 3 months, that is when this consequence will arise. As per the consequence, who will allot a new name now? Central government will allot a new name to the LLP. ROC will enter that new name in the register of LLPs. Then ROC will give a new certificate of incorporation containing that new name. That new name will now become the name of the LLP. But of course, if later LLP wants, of course they can change the name. Everybody is perfectly clear? Yes, this was our entire discussion regarding the name of the LLP. Now come on, let's talk about the registered office of LLP. Let's talk about registered office, and then the last 3 to 4 points I will give you the second revision once again. So registered office of LLP. Just like how every company should have a registered office in India, same way every LLP should also have a registered office in India. If I, you, ROC, income tax officer, central government, court, NCLT, anybody wants to send any communication or notice to the LLP, they will send to which address? They will send to this registered office address. Okay, so LLP should have a registered office where in India, and all the communications and notices to this LLP will be sent to this address. So any communication we want to send to LLP, to partner of the LLP or to designated partner, all the communications we will send to this address. In what mode? Either we will send it by certificate of post, or we will send it by registered post, or any other prescribed manner. Perfect clarity, very simple, guys. So every LLP should have a registered office where? In India. Why? All communications and notices to LLP, partner, designated partner, all these notices will be sent to this RO address. Then the notice has to be sent by which mode? Do you remember? Something very similar you have in Companies Act also. Section 20. Even section 20 talks about the mode in which service of documents to company. When we want to send any notice to company, by what mode we will send? Something very similar only we have even over here. LLP Act says if we want to send any notice to the LLP, we can send it either by certificate of post or by registered post or any prescribed manner. Now comes the next problem. This is important from MCQ point of view. What if the LLP decides to change the RO address? Question number 1. Can they change? Yes, they can change. Question number 2. After they change the registered office address, what should they do? They should inform the ROC about it. They should file a notice with the ROC. Why? Why should they inform the ROC? Very important. The change will be effective only after such filing. Are you understanding? In case, listen everybody, sit up straight and listen carefully. In case the LLP wants to change the RO address, let's say from Chennai, I want to take it to Bangalore. I want to change the RO address, I can change. To change, I don't need ROC's permission. After changing, I have to give a notice to the ROC. I have to inform the ROC. Informing the ROC is very important. Why? Only when I file the notice with ROC, only then the registered office change will become effective. Alright everybody, so this was our registered office discussion. Now the last 3 to 4 points, can I give you a quick revision? So till the features, I had given you the second revision. Now come our next point, contribution. How many forms, how many dabbas we saw here? 5 boxes we saw here. It can be tangible, intangible, movable, immovable, money, promissory note. It can be agreement to contribute cash or property. It can also be in the form of services. Then we learned if it is in kind, we have to fix a monetary value. Why? Because it has to be accounted. It has to be disclosed in the books of accounts. Then partner's obligation, how much contribution they have to bring to LLP, that is decided by the LLP agreement. Okay, then every LLP should have the words limited liability partnership or LLP in its name. Name should not be undesirable. It should not be identical. It should not resemble the name of another LLP or company or registered trademark. If it resembles that other LLP company, owner of the trademark will apply to the central government. Central government will ask the LLP to change the name within 3 months. After changing, LLP has to inform ROC within 15 days. Send 2 things to ROC, notice of the change and copy of central government's order. ROC will make the changes in the certificate of incorporation. Within the next 30 days, after changes made in certificate of incorporation, within 30 days, the LLP has to make changes in the LLP agreement. Okay. Then in case the name is identical or similar with the name of another registered trademark, there alone we have a special point. The owner of the trademark cannot take its own sweet time to apply to the central government. No, they have to apply to the central government within 3 years only. Then in case central government has asked the LLP to change the name, but shameless LLP, 3 months have come and gone, they are not changing the name, then what will happen? Central government itself will allot a new name. ROC will put that new name in the register. ROC will give a fresh certificate of incorporation containing that new name. That new name will now become the name of the LLP, but of course LLP can later change the name. Then registered office of the LLP has to be in India. All communication and notices will be sent to that address, either by certificate of post or by registered post or in any other prescribed manner. In case LLP wants to change the registered office, they can change. To change, they don't need permission of ROC. They just have to file a notice with the ROC. They have to file the notice because the RO address change will be effective only after they inform the ROC. Only after this notice is filed with ROC. Perfect clarity. Yes guys, I've given you a revision of the revision. Now come to our next discussion. Very easy discussion. The whole incorporation process we're going to see now. So how do you incorporate the LLP? Some 4-5 steps only guys. First step is going to be name reservation. So we have to decide what name are we going to keep for the LLP. We have to fill a form for name reservation. It's called RUN LLP. RUN stands for Reserve Unique Name. So we will take e-form RUN LLP. In that RUN LLP, we will mention what name are we proposing for the LLP. If ROC is satisfied that yes, the name is not undesirable, yes, the name is not identical or similar to the name of another LLP, company or trademark, then ROC will reserve the name. If ROC reserves the name reservation will be valid for how much time? The name reservation will be valid for 3 months. Perfect clarity. So name reservation has to be in which form? E-form RUN LLP. In this form, we have to mention the proposed name. What name are we proposing for the LLP? If ROC is satisfied with that name, ROC will reserve the name. Name reservation will be valid for 3 months. Now, question will arise. What if my LLP is already an existing LLP and that LLP wants to change the name? Even if existing LLP wants to change the name, there also we have to do name reservation guys. Come on, understanding right? All these points I'm having in Companies Act also. So even in Companies Act, we have to do name reservation 2 times. When I incorporate a new company, that time also we have to do name reservation. Later, existing company's name I want to change, there also I have to do name reservation. Same thing even over here. Whether I am incorporating LLP, whether I am changing existing LLP's name, In both, the name reservation process is the same. Name reservation will be valid for 3 months. Okay, so the first step in incorporation of LLP is what? Name reservation. Remember the form number, please. Form run LLP. Okay. Then comes the second step. Second step, we have to prepare the incorporation document. Do you remember what I told you about the incorporation document? The most important document. Whoever signs this incorporation document automatically becomes a partner. Remember all that. So in the incorporation document, there will be totally how many things? Total 5 things will be written over here. Name of the LLP, business of the LLP, registered office address of the LLP, name and address of the partners, name and address of designated partners. So 5 things will be written in the incorporation document. Then this incorporation document has to be subscribed by minimum 2 persons. So minimum how many subscribers we need? Minimum 2 subscribers we need. We can have more than 2 also. Minimum 2 subscribers we need. Then this incorporation document has to be in e-form Philip, form for incorporating limited liability partnership. Philip full form is form for incorporating limited liability partnership. So the incorporation document has to be in e-form Philip. It has to be filed with ROC. Which ROC? There are so many ROCs in my country. Can I randomly walk into any ROC's office and dump it over there? No. I have to go to that ROC who is having jurisdiction over the state where the LLP's registered office is situated. So wherever LLP's registered office is situated, like for example, let us say LLP's registered office is situated in Bangalore. So I'll have to go to the Karnataka ROC, and to Karnataka ROC, I'll have to submit this e-form Philip. Till here perfectly clear, guys? So incorporation document, most important document for the LLP. It has to contain these 5 things. It has to be signed by minimum 2 subscribers. It has to be in e-form Philip. It has to be filed with ROC of the state where the LLP's registered office is situated. Second point, second step. What was my first step? First step was name reservation. Second step is incorporation document. Then comes my third step. In third step, we have to prepare a statement, and the statement has to be filed along with the incorporation document. So when I'm filing the incorporation document with the ROC, along with the incorporation document, I have to file one statement also. Now what statement? A statement saying that all the requirements of this act and the rules made thereunder relating to incorporation, everything has been complied with. The statement has to be given by whom? By 2 people, one outsider and one insider. Who is this outsider? Some advocate, CA, CS, CMA, basically some professional who is involved in the formation of the LLP. Then the statement also has to be given by one insider. Who is the insider? One subscriber. Come on everybody. Incorporation document should have minimum how many subscribers? It should have minimum 2 subscribers. But the statement has to be given by how many subscribers? By 1 subscriber. Okay, now do you remember something very similar is there even in companies incorporation? In companies incorporation, there we use the word declaration. Do you remember? In that whole incorporation process of company, we have declaration, a declaration saying that all the requirement of Companies Act and the rules made thereunder relating to incorporation, everything has been complied with. Something very similar we have even in LLP Act, just that here I am not calling it declaration. What am I calling it instead? I am calling it statement. So don't you dare write the word declaration over here. The word used over here is statement. Okay, so what will the statement say? That all the requirements of this act and the rules made thereunder with respect to incorporation, everything has been complied with. The statement has to be given by whom? One outsider, one insider. Who is the outsider? Advocate, CA, CS, CMA, who is engaged in the formation of the LLP. Who is the insider? One subscriber. One subscriber. Okay. Don't write insider, outsider and all in the examination. It's only for our memory. Alright. So this was the third step. First step was name reservation. Second step was incorporation document. Third step is statement. Statement has to be filed along with incorporation document. Then comes the fourth step. Once we do all this filing with the ROC, if ROC is satisfied, ROC will register the incorporation document within 14 days. ROC will give us a certificate of incorporation. That certificate will be signed by the ROC. That certificate will be a conclusive evidence that yes, LLP has been incorporated. So fourth step, the ROC will keep all the documents. The ROC will register the incorporation document within 14 days. ROC will give a certificate of incorporation to the LLP. That certificate will be signed by the ROC, and the certificate will be a conclusive evidence that yes, LLP has now been incorporated. Once LLP is incorporated, LLP becomes a different person altogether. Now LLP can sue and be sued in its own name. It can acquire property, it can sell property in its own name. It can have a common seal. It can do lawful acts. It can enter into contracts in its own name. So first 4 steps clear. Then comes my 5th step, the last step. LLP agreement has to be filed. After the LLP is incorporated, after that, the LLP agreement has to be filed with the ROC in E-Form 3 within 30 days of incorporation. Are you noticing? When do we prepare the incorporation document? Incorporation document we prepare. In the process of incorporation, I need the incorporation document. Only after that only LLP will get incorporated. But when do I need the LLP agreement? After the LLP is incorporated, after that only the LLP agreement has to be filed with the ROC within 30 days of incorporation. Perfect clarity. So this was my 5-step process to incorporate the LLP. Can we do one final revision of this, guys? One revision of the revision. Tell yourself this is the last time I'm revising all this. After this, straight away before the exam only. So come on, guys. What are my steps for incorporation? 5 steps. First step is name reservation. What's the form number? Run LLP. The name reservation form will contain what? The proposed name of the LLP. If ROC is satisfied with that name, ROC will reserve the name. Name reservation will be valid for how long? It will be valid for 3 months. Even if existing LLP wants to change the name, same process. Then incorporation document, most important document. How many things it will contain? 5 things it will contain. What are the 5 things? Name of LLP, business of LLP, registered office address of the LLP, name and address of partners, name and address of designated partners. Then this incorporation document has to be subscribed by minimum how many people? Minimum 2 subscribers we need. Then this incorporation document has to be filed with whom? ROC. In which form number? In E-Form Philip. Okay. Then along with the incorporation document, what will you attach and file? You will also file a statement. Statement will be nothing but a statement saying that all the requirements of this act and the rules made thereunder, everything we have complied with relating to incorporation. This statement has to be given by how many people? By 2 people. One outsider, one insider. Who is the outsider? Some advocate, CA, CS, CMA who is engaged in the formation of LLP. Who is the insider? One subscriber to the incorporation document. Then once everything is filed, ROC will register the incorporation document within 14 days. ROC will give a certificate of incorporation signed by the ROC. It will be conclusive evidence that LLP has been incorporated. Then LLP agreement has to be filed with the ROC within 30 days. After incorporation, within 30 days, LLP agreement has to be filed with ROC in E-Form 3. Total how many form numbers you have learnt in this till now? 3 form numbers. Name reservation, run LLP. Incorporation document, E-Form Philip, and now for LLP agreement, E-Form 3. Sorted, everybody? Yes. Now come to my next discussion. My next discussion is about cessation of partnership interest. Again, very, very important. Cessation means what? Bringing to an end. Cessation means what? Ending. Ending what? Partnership interest, your financial interest, whatever your interest in the partnership. So I'm seizing your partnership interest. In simple words, when do you cease to be a partner? When does a person cease to be a partner? A person ceases to be a partner in 7 situations. Number 1, as per the LLP agreement. If I don't want to continue as a partner in the LLP, what will I do? I will go to the LLP agreement. I will see in the LLP agreement what process is given. If I want to stop being a partner, if I want to leave the LLP, what process is given? Whatever process is given in the LLP agreement, I will follow that process. But what if LLP agreement is not giving any process? Then in that case, I have to give at least 30 days written notice to the other partners saying that I want to resign. I don't want to continue as a partner. Okay. So these 2 points come under voluntary cessation, guys, where I want to resign. I want to leave the LLP. So it is voluntary cessation. So if I want to voluntarily leave the LLP, what I will do? I will first come to the LLP agreement. I will see what process is given over there. I will follow that process. But if there is nothing written in the LLP agreement, then in that case, I will simply give 30 days written notice to all the other partners saying that I am intending, my intention is to resign. I don't want to continue as partner. Okay. Then listen, we also have 5 more situations. In these 5 situations, whether you like it or not, whether the partner likes it or not, automatically cessation will happen. That is why it is called as operation of law, which means in these 5 cases, the law will automatically remove you as partner from the LLP. What are the 5 cases? When the partner dies, when the LLP dissolves, when the partner is declared to be of unsound mind, when the partner is declared to be insolvent, when the partner files application to be adjudicated as insolvent. So in these 5 cases, by operation of law, automatically you will cease to be a partner. Tell me the 7 situations once again. First situation. By the way, what are we learning about? We're learning about situations where I can exit from the LLP. Situations where I can cease to be a partner. So 7 situations we have. First 2 tell me, as per the LLP agreement. But what if the LLP agreement is silent? What if there's nothing written in the LLP agreement about cessation? Then the law is saying give at least 30 days written notice to each partner about intention to resign. Then comes the remaining 5, automatic cessation by operation of law. Death of partner, then one more D, dissolution of partner, then unsound mind, then insolvent, and then application to be adjudged as insolvent. In these 5 cases, you will automatically cease to be a partner. Okay, then listen everybody. Come to the next part of my discussion. See, if I cease to be a partner, let's say in the month of June, I ceased to be a partner. I resigned. I left the LLP. I did some act before cessation. In April month, I did some act. For that act, I will continue to be liable. So whatever acts I have done before cessation, for those acts, after cessation also, I will continue to be liable. Simple guys. So I will not be discharged from liabilities incurred when he was a partner. When I was a partner, at that time, whatever liabilities I incurred, for those liabilities, even after cessation, I will continue to be liable. Okay. Then listen to the next part. This part I will explain to you over here. Partner resigned. So what do I become? I now become the former partner. Partner died. Legal representative will come into the picture. Partner became insolvent. Official receiver, official assignee will come into the picture. So, if partner dies, then his legal representative. If the partner becomes insolvent, his official receiver. Or if partner resigns, then the partner himself, the former partner, they will have the right to receive 2 things back from the LLP. Thing number 1, they will have the right to receive the capital contribution back from the LLP. Thing number 2, whatever is their share in the accumulated profits of the LLP. Of course, after subtracting their share in the accumulated losses, these 2 things they will have the right to get. Understanding guys? So first extra point, what did we learn? First extra point we learned was, even after I cease to be partner, even after that, I will continue to be liable for whatever I did when I was a partner. For those liabilities, I will continue to be liable even after cessation. Then second extra point we learned, if I resign from the LLP, I have become a former partner. If the partner dies, then his legal representative will enter into the story. If partner becomes insolvent, official receiver will enter into the story. So this former partner, legal representative or official receiver as the case may be, they will have the right to get how many things from the LLP? 2 things. Number 1, their capital contribution, and number 2, their share in accumulated profits, of course after subtracting the accumulated losses. And the third and the last point, the cessation will be effective only after ROC has been informed. You remember, even for registered office change, I told you this. Even for registered office change, I told you that registered office change will be effective only after we inform the LLP. Only after we inform the ROC. Same thing, cessation will be effective only after we inform the ROC about it. Everybody's perfectly clear. This was my entire cessation discussion. Then listen, my next point is about informing the ROC about the change in particulars of partners. 3 things we have to inform the ROC. We have to inform the ROC when a person becomes a partner. We have to inform the ROC. When a person ceases to be a partner, we have to inform the ROC. Then when the partner's name is changing or when the partner's address is changing, we have to inform the ROC. So 3 times we have to give a notice to the ROC. That is what we're going to be talking about next over here. See, whenever a person becomes a partner, in simple words, admission of a partner, new partner is entering into the LLP, LLP has to inform the ROC. Within 30 days, LLP has to inform the ROC. 2 things LLP will send to the ROC. A notice saying that so and so person has been admitted along with that person's written consent. So the LLP has to inform the ROC within 30 days of from becoming a partner. 2 things LLP will inform, notice and partner's written consent. Then when a person ceases to be partner, straight away come to this diagram. When a person ceases to be partner, just now we saw 7 situations when a person will cease to be a partner. We saw cessation will be effective only if ROC has been informed. So who has to inform ROC? When do we have to inform ROC? That is what we're learning now. So the LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days from ceasing to be partner. LLP will inform ROC. But what if LLP is not informing the ROC? Then in that case, that partner itself will inform the ROC. If partner is informing the ROC, ROC will not accept. ROC will ask for confirmation from LLP. LLP will have to give confirmation within 15 days. Okay. So are you noticing? When a person becomes a partner, there also LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days. Also when a person ceases to be a partner, there also LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days. In case LLP is not informing the ROC, then only partner will send a notice to the ROC. But if a partner is sending notice to ROC, ROC still needs confirmation from the LLP within the next 15 days. Okay. And lastly, if there is a change in the name or address of partner, what will happen? If there is a change in the name or address of partner, then first of all, the partner has to inform the LLP about it within 15 days of the change. Then LLP has to inform the ROC within 30 days of the change. Are you noticing? From the date of the change, within 15 days, the partner will inform LLP. From the date of the change, within 30 days, LLP will inform ROC. Are you noticing? It is not next 30 days. Both the time limits are from when? From the date of the change. Okay, so partner will inform the LLP within 15 days of the change. Then LLP will have to inform the ROC within 30 days of the change. And all these notices have to be in prescribed format. They have to be accompanied with prescribed fees. They have to be signed by the designated partner and authenticated. Alright, so 3 things we saw. We have to inform the ROC 3 things: when a person becomes a partner, when a person ceases to be a partner, and then when the partner's name changes or when the partner's address changes. All these 3 things we have to give a notice to the ROC and inform the ROC about it. All perfectly clear. So the last 2-3 things, let me give you a revision. Incorporation document, I had given you a revision already. Cessation, when does a person cease to be a partner? Either as per the LLP agreement, or if LLP agreement is silent, I will simply give a written notice, 30 days written notice to all the other partners saying I intend to resign from the LLP. Then death of partner, dissolution of LLP, unsound mind, insolvent, or application to be adjudged insolvent. In all these cases, a person will cease to be a partner. Then if he ceases to be a partner, he will still be liable for whatever he did when he was a partner. For all those acts, he will still continue to be liable. Then the former partner, the legal representative of the deceased partner, the official receiver of the insolvent partner, these people will have the right to get 2 things from the LLP: their share in the capital contribution and also their share in their entire capital contribution and their share in the accumulated profits, of course after subtracting accumulated losses. Then cessation will be effective only after we have informed ROC about it. Then when a person becomes a partner, within 30 days LLP will inform ROC. When a person ceases to be a partner, within 30 days LLP will inform ROC. If LLP doesn't inform ROC, partner will send a notice to the ROC, but ROC will ask for confirmation from LLP. LLP has to give confirmation within 15 days. And lastly, if the partner's name is changing or address is changing, partner has to inform LLP about the change within 15 days. LLP has to inform ROC about it within 30 days of the change. Alright guys, till here I hope you're perfectly clear with everything that we have discussed. Coming to our next discussion now, liability of LLP and liability of partners. In this liability discussion, liability of designated partners, you already know. You know that they are the ones who are responsible for legal compliances in the LLP. In case there is a non-compliance, whatever penal obligation is put on the LLP, even the penalties, the designated partners only are responsible. This liability of designated partners you're already aware of. Now listen, look at this other part. Before we come to this part, let's finish off this holding out point, because this liability of partners, this also a little bit you're already aware of, not very tricky, but this point is something which is little untested area. I want to finish this for you first. Let's straight away take an example and then we will come to the English over here. Imagine there's a person, Mr. Red. He's actually not a partner in the LLP. He's actually not a partner, okay? But in his LinkedIn bio, he has written that he is a partner in the LLP. He has written. Actually, he's not a partner, okay? There's another person, let's say he's a supplier. This supplier reads in Red's LinkedIn bio that he is a partner of the LLP, trusting that supplier is giving goods on credit to the LLP. Got the situation? There's a person, Mr. Red. He is actually not a partner in the LLP, but in his LinkedIn bio, he has written that he is a partner in the LLP. There's one more supplier now. This supplier, trusting this fact, relying on this fact that, Red is a partner, he is giving goods on credit to the LLP. Now what happens? When this happens, this person, Mr. Red, by his words, by writing in his LinkedIn bio, so by his words, he has made a third party believe that he's a partner. So when this happens, this LLP, which has purchased the goods on credit from the supplier, the LLP is anyways going to be liable. Along with the LLP, even this person, Mr. Red, even he will become liable. He will become a partner by holding out. Simple, guys. So any person, Red, who allows others to hold himself as partner or represents himself as partner by his conduct or his words, this is what has happened. Red, a person, he has made others believe he is a partner. He is representing himself as a partner through his conduct or his words. This person, Mr. Red, he will be liable to third party. Who's a third party in our example? Supplier. So he will be liable to the third party who acts on the faith of the representation and gives credit to the firm. The supplier acted on the faith of the representation and he gave goods on credit to the LLP. So this person, Mr. Red, will be liable to the supplier. But please know, will this person alone be liable? No. The LLP receiving the credit will of course be liable because the LLP purchased goods on credit. So LLP anyways will be liable. Along with the LLP, this person, Mr. Red, even he will become liable. We will treat him as if he's a partner by holding out. Easy. So any person, through his words or through his conduct, if he is making another person believe that he is a partner and a third party believing on that representation, acting on that representation gives credit to the LLP, then the LLP will anyways be liable. Along with that, this person, Mr. Red, he will also be liable. This is your holding out point. Okay. Then listen, the remaining discussion is very, very straightforward. You know very well, every partner in the LLP, is he an agent of other partners? No, remember in the beginning part of the chapter I told you every partner is an agent of whom? Is an agent of the LLP, guys. Then we had learned every partner, if he does an act, will he bind other partners? No, we learned partner will bind whom? The partner will bind the LLP by his acts. So relating to this discussion only, we have these 5 points over here. Point number 1, every partner is an agent of the LLP, but he is not an agent of the other partners. This is what I told you in my first point. Partner is agent of LLP, but he is not an agent of the other partners. Then partner is not personally liable for LLP's liabilities. Of course, guys, main point of LLP is what? That partners have limited liability. Partners will not be personally liable for LLP's liabilities. LLP's liabilities are LLP's liabilities. LLP only will be responsible for its liabilities. Partners will not be personally liable. Even this point we know. So partner will not be liable for wrongful acts of other partners. Why? Because if a partner does an act, will it bind other partners? No. So therefore, if some partner does a wrong or if some partner does some omission, for that partner's wrongs, other partners will not be liable. So partner will not be liable for wrongful acts of other partners. Okay. But he will be personally liable for his own acts. Of course, if another partner has done something wrong, for that I will not be responsible because partner cannot bind other partners. But however, if I myself have done something wrong, for that of course I will be responsible. Then, partner is not liable for past compliance lapses occurred when he was not a partner. Let's say I became a partner only in June, but long back in Jan, that time I was not a partner. At that time in this LLP, there was some non-compliance. Let's say that time in Jan, they did not file the annual return. Some non-compliance has happened earlier in Jan when I was not a partner. So for that non-compliance, will I be held responsible? No, guys. So past compliance lapse. Compliance lapse means what? past non-compliance. In the past, some non-compliance has happened. For that non-compliance, I will not be held responsible if that time I was not a partner. Look at this example, you will understand even better. If LLP defaulted in filing annual return earlier, now if a new partner gets admitted, he will not be liable. Now understood, guys? If I got admitted as a partner now, this point onwards, you can still hold me answerable. But before I became a partner, even before that, whatever non-compliance happened in the LLP, for that you can't hold me liable. So are these points perfectly clear, everybody? So what are your points? Tell me. Point number 1, partner is agent of the LLP. He is not agent of other partners. So partner is not personally liable for LLP's obligations. Then partner will not be liable for acts of other partners because partners cannot bind other partners. But if partner has himself done any wrongful act or omission for own acts, of course he is going to be personally liable. Then if I became a partner now in June, before I became a partner, let's say in January, some non-compliance happened. So non-compliances which happened at that time when if I was not even a partner, for those non-compliances, now I will not be held liable. So for past compliance lapses, when I was not a partner, for those lapses, now when I become a partner, you can't hold me liable. Okay. Then listen to the next discussion. If a partner dies, then LLP can continue the business under the same name. So if a partner dies and if the LLP continues business in the same LLP name, okay, then in that case, after the partner dies, after that, whatever actions happen in the LLP, for those actions, the legal representative, the estate of the deceased partner will not be liable. Simple. So if a partner dies, first of all, after the partner dies, tell me, will the LLP come to an end? No. Remember, LLP has perpetual succession. So even if the partner dies, still the LLP will continue to exist. So LLP can continue business in the same name. LLP can continue business. So if the LLP is continuing business in the same name, now whatever actions are done in the LLP, for those actions, this deceased partner's legal representative, this deceased partner's estate will not become liable for whatever actions are done in the LLP after the partner's death. They will not be held liable. Okay. Then comes the last set of points over here. Liability of LLP. See, LLP is bound by the Partners Act. Each partner is agent of the LLP. Remember I told you, each partner is agent of the LLP. So if I do any act, I will be able to bind the LLP. Partner cannot bind other partners, but he can bind the LLP. But however, what if the partner does an act without authority? Like for example, LLP has given authority only to partner 1 to buy goods, but partner 2 is going and buying goods. So partner 2 is doing an act without any authority. If the partner does an act without authority, for those acts, of course, the LLP will not be liable. And liabilities of LLP are LLP's liabilities only. Liabilities of LLP have to be met from LLP's assets. Simple points, guys. So can I give you one nice quick revision of this entire discussion that we had regarding liability? Yes, this entire liability discussion, let's do one quick revision nicely, carefully. Point number 1, tell me about the designated partner's liability. The designated partner will have how many responsibilities? 2 points we learnt in his liability, guys. Point number 1, he is only responsible for all legal compliances. Then one more point we learnt it in cases of non-compliance, and if any penalty is imposed on the LLP, for the penalty also the designated partner only will be responsible. This is the first thing we saw. Then remember we discussed about partner by holding out. Here what did we learn? Here we learned that there's a person, he is actually not a partner, but he is representing himself to be partner. What words we saw? 2 words we saw over here. He is representing himself to be a partner either through his words or through his conduct. He is representing to be a partner. Now any third party who relies on this representation, any third party who acts on this representation and gives credit to the LLP, for this credit who will be liable? For this credit, the LLP will anyways be liable. Along with this LLP, this person who had represented to be a partner, he will also be liable. Are you crystal clear till here? Yes. Then after this, we learned the third set of discussions. We learned that every partner is an agent of the LLP. So therefore, he's not an agent of the other partners. So if the partner does some wrongful act, if the partner does some wrongful act, or if the partner does some omission, for this wrongful act or omission, will the other partners be liable? Yes or no, guys? The other partners will not be liable. Why? Because the partner will not be able to bind the other partners. Partner will be able to bind only the LLP. So other partners will not be liable if the partner does any wrongful act or omission. But if the partner, then after this we had learned that if the partner does a wrongful act or omission, the partner will be liable for his own acts, for his own wrongful acts, for his own omissions. Of course, he is going to be liable. He will not be liable for others' wrongs, but for his own wrongs, of course, he will be liable. This also we had learned. Then we learned one more point over here for past compliance lapses. Remember this point? Past compliance lapses means what? When I became a partner only in June, even before I became a partner in Jan month, at this time, if any non-compliance happened, for that I will not be held liable. So for past compliance lapses, which means lapses which happened even before I became a partner, for those lapses you can't hold me liable. Okay. Then after this, we came to our next page. This was this entire discussion over here. Then we spoke about death of the partner. We discussed even when the partner dies, still the LLP can still continue to carry on business in the same name. The LLP can still continue to carry on the business. When the LLP does this, when LLP continues to carry on business in the same name, now whatever liabilities the LLP incur, whatever actions are done in the LLP, for all this, the legal representative of the deceased partner, the estate of the deceased partner, will not be held liable. So once the partner dies, after that, whatever happens in the LLP, for all that, the legal representative of the deceased partner and the estate of the deceased partner will not be held liable. Okay. Then after this, we had a few more points we had, guys. We also saw that, I'll tell you the fifth point over here. We also saw that the LLP's liabilities are the LLP's obligations only. So how are you going to meet the LLP's liabilities? LLP's liabilities have to be met out of the LLP's assets. Okay. Then we learned after this, one more point we had learned, that if the partner does an act, for that act will the LLP be liable or not? We said if the partner has done the act with authority, okay, then for that act the LLP will be liable. But if partner has done an act without authority, then for that act the LLP will not be liable. Are you thorough? So I've given you a scribble revision once again of the entire liability concept. Now are you fine? Yes, guys. So this was our entire liability discussion, liability of the partners. Now this authority point, can I give you one example? Listen to me. Imagine in the LLP agreement, it is written that there are two partners, blue and green. There are two partners. It is written in the LLP agreement that Mr. Blue, only he can purchase goods on behalf of the LLP. So Blue went and purchased goods. So can I say the partner Mr. Blue has done an act over here? He has done an act with authority, because LLP agreement itself mentions that he can purchase goods. So he has authority to do that, and he went and purchased goods. So for these goods, the LLP will be liable. LLP has to make payment for these goods, guys. But however, tell me, even has the LLP agreement given power to green can green also go and buy? No. But still, let's say green goes and buys goods. So can I say green has done an act without authority? For that act, will the LLP be liable? For that act, LLP will not be liable. So only if the partner does an act with authority, only for that act, the LLP will be liable. Everybody sorted with this entire discussion? Yes, guys. Can I come to the next part of the discussion now? Look at this. What if there is a fraud? Now, if there is a fraud in the LLP, then the partner who has done the fraud, he of course will be liable. Liability of the partners who acted fraudulently, they will have unlimited liability. So the partner who has done the fraud, he will of course be liable. The bigger question is, will the LLP be liable or not? It's very simple. If the partner has done the fraud with authority, if the partner has done the fraud with the knowledge of the LLP, then the LLP will also be liable. But if the partner has done the fraud without the LLP's knowledge, without the LLP's authority, then LLP will not be liable. And also, if there is a fraud in the LLP, if there's a fraud done, then the LLP, the partner who's done the fraud, the employees who are involved in the fraud, all of them will have to compensate the person who suffered a loss or a damage because of the fraud. So if there's a fraud in the LLP, point number one, the partner who has done the fraud, he of course will be liable. LLP, when will the LLP be liable? LLP will be liable if the fraud was done with the knowledge, with the authority of the LLP, then LLP will also be liable. Then we learned if there is a fraud in the LLP, the partner who's done the fraud and the employees, all of them will have to compensate whom? All of them will have to compensate the person who suffered a loss or a damage because of the fraud. Alright guys, so this was our entire discussion about the LLP's liability and also the partner's liability. So at this stage, can I ask you some questions about liability? Will you try answering? Just a few questions guys. Let's see if you're able to answer. First tell me, designated partner, what did we learn? Designated partner, two words we saw. He is the one who's responsible for legal compliance, and then we said he's also liable for penalties. So two keywords we have over there, legal compliance and penalties. Then tell me, what about the partners? If some partner has done wrongful act, for that wrongful act will other partners be liable? Other partners will not be liable. Then tell me, if a partner is joining only now, for past compliance lapses, will the partner be liable? No, he is joining only now. So for past compliance lapses, the partner will not be liable. Then after that, tell me, you remember partner by holding out? What are the two keywords over there? How is the partner making other party believe that he is a partner? What are the two keywords? Through his words or through his conduct? Through his words or through his conducts, he is making others believe that he is a partner. Now, third party who is acting on the faith of that representative, the third party who is acting on the faith of the representation and gives credit to the firm. Now, who will be liable? The LLP to whom the credit is given, LLP will anyways be liable. Along with the LLP, that person who's actually not the partner, even he will become deemed to be liable as partner because he made third party believe that he's a partner. So even he will become liable. Okay. Then we learned if a partner dies, what will happen? If a partner dies, first of all, can the LLP continue to function under the same name? Yes, LLP can continue to function under the same name. But in that case, will the legal representative, will the estate of the deceased partner be liable for whatever happens in the LLP after the death? The legal representative and the estate will not be liable for whatever acts are done in the LLP after the death. They will not be liable. Then we learned if a partner does an act, will the LLP be bound or not? Will the LLP be liable or not? It depends. If the partner is doing the act with authority, then for that act, the LLP will be liable. If partner is doing an act without authority, then for that act LLP will not be liable. Then we learned what about the liabilities of LLP? How will they be met? Liabilities of LLP will be met out of the LLP's assets. Then finally we learned that in case there's a fraud in the LLP, the partner who's done the fraud, he of course will be liable. Will the LLP also be liable? That depends upon is the LLP, did the LLP have knowledge of the fraud? Was the fraud done with the authority of the LLP? If yes, even the LLP will become liable. But if the fraud was done not with authority, if it was not done with LLP's authority, then LLP will not be liable. And then we learned in case it's a fraud, then LLP, the partner who's done the fraud, and employees who are involved in the fraud, all of them will have to make good the loss or the damage for the person who suffered the loss or the damage because of the fraud. Sorted everybody, they'll have to compensate, yes. They have to compensate the person who suffered a loss or a damage because of the fraud. Everybody is perfectly clear? Yes. So this was our entire big discussion with respect to liability. This was a last tricky concept in this chapter. Now after this, whatever we have in this chapter is all easy peasy only. Look at the next discussion. Business transactions of partner with LLP. Very simple point. Partner is entering into a business transaction with LLP. LLP should not give partial treatment for this. LLP should treat this business transaction as if it is a third party transaction. For example, let us say a partner has given loan to LLP. Can LLP tell the partner, you're a partner, so no interest? Can LLP say like that? No. Whenever the partner enters into a business transaction with the LLP, you should treat the transaction as if it is a normal third party transaction. Any third party transaction, any third party giving a loan to LLP, you will give interest, right? So give interest now also. Understanding, it has to be treated like a third party transaction. It must be honored as if it's an external loan. Just because partner is entering into the business transaction, you should not give any partial treatment. Okay. Then comes our next discussion about accounts. So in this entire accounts discussion, some 3 to 4 points we will be discussing. 5 points totally we will be discussing. My first point is about books of accounts. LLP has to maintain books of accounts. For each financial year, the books have to be maintained. Point number 1, they have to be maintained for each year. Point number 2, they have to be maintained in cash basis or accrual basis. For companies remember only accrual basis. For LLPs, cash basis, accrual basis, both is okay. Then number 3, this has to be only in double entry system. No maintaining books in single entry, no, double entry is mandatory. Then where should the accounts be kept? Where should the books of accounts be kept? At the registered office only. In Companies Act, you remember, either the books of accounts can be kept in the RO or it can be kept in any other place in India, which the board of directors will decide. All that drama we don't have over here. Here the books of accounts have to be kept at the registered office only. So come on everybody, tell me again. Books of accounts, they have to be prepared for each financial year. What basis? Cash basis, accrual basis, doesn't matter. Which method? Double entry system only. And where should the books of accounts be kept? At the registered office only. Okay. Then comes a second discussion about statement of accounts and solvency. Now, statement of accounts and solvency has to be prepared when? It has to be prepared within 6 months from the end of the financial year. They have to be prepared as on when? As on the last day of the financial year. The statement of accounts and solvency has to be signed by whom? Designated partners, and it has to be filed with ROC. Now, these 2 points, let me help you understand. Let's say, for example, we're talking about financial year 25-26. So, first of all, when do I have to prepare the statement of accounts and solvency? When do I have to prepare? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year. So what is the end of the financial year? 31st March 2026. What is 6 months from the end of the financial year? 30th September 2026. So by 30th September, on or before 30th September 2026, I have to prepare the statement of accounts and solvency. But when I'm preparing the statement will contain information as on when? The statement will contain information as on the end of the financial year, as on 31st March 2026. Understood, guys? The statement has to be prepared within 6 months from the end of the year. But when I'm preparing the statement, it will contain information as on 31st March 2026. Okay. So how many points over here? Again, 4 points, guys. Point number 1, statement of accounts and solvency. Then will you prepare it within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Point number 2, it will contain information as on when? As on the last day of the financial year. Point number 3, it has to be signed by whom? Designated partners. And point number 4, it has to be filed with whom? Filed with the ROC. Easy, guys. So first point was about books of accounts and the second point was about statement of accounts and solvency. Now come to the third point. The third point is about annual return. Annual return, 2 simple points, guys. It has to be filed with whom? It has to be filed with ROC. And second point, when should it be filed with ROC? Within 60 days of the end of the financial year. So annual return has to be filed with ROC within 60 days from the end of the financial year. Okay. Then books of accounts, financial statements have to be audited even in LLP. But not every LLP's books have to be audited. Which LLP's books and financials have to be audited? It is as per the prescribed rules. Rules are not in our syllabus. So we just have to know that even over here audit is applicable. Then even over here, like how we have for companies, even over here central government will prescribe accounting standards and auditing standards as recommended by ICAI in consultation with NAFRA. So accounting standards, auditing standards will be applicable for LLP also. So how many points, guys? 5 simple points. Are you ready? One final revision of this entire thing. Books of accounts, tell me. LLP has to prepare books of accounts. For each year, the books have to be prepared. On what basis? Cash basis or accrual basis, doesn't matter. But which method? Double entry method only. And where should the books be kept? At the registered office only. Then tell me the second point. Statement of accounts and solvency. It has to be prepared within how much time? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year. But it will contain information as on which date? As on the last day of the financial year. It has to be signed by whom? Designated partners. It has to be filed with whom? Filed with the ROC. Then annual return, third point. Even that has to be filed with whom? ROC. But when? Within 60 days from the end of the financial year. So are you understanding? From the end of the financial year, within 60 days, we have to file annual return with the ROC. From the end of the financial year, within 6 months, we have to file statement of accounts and solvency with ROC. Statement of accounts and solvency, annual return. Both have to be filed with ROC. Only time limits are different. Annual return is 60 days from the end of the financial year. Statement of accounts and solvency is within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Okay. Then comes my next point. Accounts have to be audited as per the prescribed rules. And finally, the central government may prescribe accounting standards and auditing standards. Recommended by whom? The standards will be recommended by ICAI in consultation with whom? In consultation with NAFRA. The language has to be the same. The standards have to be recommended by ICAI in consultation with NAFRA. Okay, this is about our books of accounts and statements of account and solvency discussion. Okay, then listen to my next discussion. I am talking about 4 documents now. Incorporation document. Do you remember incorporation document? The most important document, signed by minimum 2 subscribers, 5 content. Remember, incorporation document number 1. Then name of partners and changes therein, document number 2. Then statement of accounts and solvency, just now we saw it has to be prepared, it has to be filed with ROC within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Then annual return, even this has to be filed with ROC, 60 days time limit we had over here. So 4 documents we are having. These 4 documents can be inspected by any person upon payment of prescribed fees. In simple words, these 4 documents become public documents. You know, right? Even in Companies Act, you have MOA, AOA, which are public documents. So same way, even in your LLP Act, all of these are public documents. Anybody can go and pay some fees to the ROC and can inspect these documents. Then comes the next point, penalty for false statement. If any person makes any false statement or omits any material fact in any return, statement or other document, like for example, the LLP is filing annual return. Then you remember in our incorporation process we learned statement has to be given, a statement saying that all the rules and regulations, all the provisions of this act and the rules made thereunder relating to incorporation, everything has been complied with. So any return, any statement, any document which we are filing, in that return statement or document, if there is a false statement or if we have omitted material fact, then in that case the person who made the statement will be punished. Punishment will be maximum 2 years imprisonment and 1 lakh to 5 lakhs fine. Okay, so this is penalty for false statement. So if you are making any return or statement or any document, and in that if you are putting a wrong statement, a false statement, or if you are omitting, you are hiding important information, then punishment will come into the picture. Okay, then comes this next point. This is extremely simple, guys. Here what happens is ROC can go to any person. That person can be partner of the LLP, can be former partner of the LLP, can be designated partner of the LLP, can be employee of the LLP, can be any person. So ROC can go to any person and require ADS, require A for answer. The ROC can ask a question and ROC can ask answer for that question from any person. Then D for declaration. ROC can come to any person and ask for a declaration. S for supply, supply of details or particulars, basically supply of information. ROC can come to any information and ask to supply information. Understanding? So ROC can come to whom? Any person. Who is this any person? Partner, former partner, designated partner, employee, anybody. ROC can come to any of these people and do what? Require what? ADS. Require A for answer, answer to any question. D for declaration. S for supply, supply of any details or particulars. Okay. Now, if ROC is asking for any declaration, information, answer, whatever, this person should provide the answer. This person should provide the declaration. This person should provide the information. If that person does not give the answer or does not give the declaration or does not give the information, or he is giving answer, he is giving declaration, he is giving information, but ROC feels that ROC is not satisfied with that answer, then in that case ROC can summon that person. Summon means what? Formally call that person to appear before him, inspector or any other public officer, and then ask that person once again to answer the question, make the declaration or supply the information. Okay, looks complicated, but it's actually a very basic point. I'll tell you once again, it's very simple. So first of all, ROC can go to whom? To any person. ROC can ask what? Answer to any question, or for a declaration or some information. ROC can ask for anything. Now if ROC is asking for this information, that person should provide the information. But if that person is not providing the information, or he is providing the information but ROC is not satisfied with that information, then ROC can summon. What's the key word over here? Summon. ROC can summon that person to appear before him, before inspector or any other public officer. So ROC can ask that person to come, to summon that person. ROC can ask him to come before these people and now answer the question, make the declaration or supply the information. Okay, so before I start compounding of offenses, last 3-4 points whatever I discussed with you, can I give you a revision of the revision, guys? Because I am very confident. I'll tell you till where I am confident. Till here you are confident, I am confident. What is this point about? Remember when a person becomes a partner of the LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days. Then when a person ceases to be a partner, LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days. If LLP is not informing, partner can give a notice to the ROC. If partner is giving a notice to ROC, ROC will ask LLP for confirmation within 15 days. Then if there is a change in the name or address of the partner will inform LLP within 15 days of the change. LLP has to inform ROC within 30 days of the change. Till here, I am confident that you are confident. This point onwards, a few points, can I ask you some questions? Give me correct answers and then you and I, both of us can have the confidence that we have understood. Okay, tell me guys, designated partners, how many keywords are coming to your mind? 2 keywords. They are responsible for legal compliances. Also, they are responsible for penalties. They are liable for legal compliances and they are liable for penalties. Okay, then tell me, will I be liable for past compliance lapses also? I was not even a partner at that time. That time, whatever lapses happened, for those lapses, will I be liable? I will not be liable. Then remember, partner by holding out. I'm actually not a partner. Through my conduct or through my words, I'm making third parties believe I'm a partner. So the third party who's acting on the faith of the representation, who will be liable to that third party? LLP will anyways be liable. Along with that, this partner will also become liable. Then remember, when a partner dies, can the LLP continue to do business under the same name? LLP can continue. But in that case, after the partner dies, whatever actions happen in the LLP after the death, for those actions, the legal representative of the deceased partner, the estate and all, will not be liable. Then after this, remember, if partner does an act with authority, LLP will be liable. If partner does an act without authority, LLP will not be liable. Then we learnt about fraud. If there's a fraud, will LLP be liable or not? It depends. If the fraud happened with the knowledge or authority of LLP, then LLP also will be liable. But if the fraud happened without the knowledge or authority of the LLP, then the LLP will not be liable. And remember that compensation point. If there is a fraud, then the LLP, the partner who's done the fraud, the employees who are a party to the fraud, all of them have to compensate the person who suffered a loss or a damage because of the fraud. Okay. And then we learned if there's any business transaction between partner and LLP, can LLP give any partial treatment for the transaction? No. We should treat it as if it's a third party transaction. Same rights and obligations which will be there as if he was not a partner, same rights and obligations will be there even for this transaction. We should treat it like a third party transaction basically. Then tell me, books of accounts, mandatory to maintain? Mandatory to maintain. LLP shall maintain. It is mandatory to maintain. For each year, yes. Accrual basis or cash basis, but double entry system. And where should it be kept? Only one option. Registered office. No other option. Then statement of accounts and solvency has to be prepared as on which date? As on the last day of the year. Has to be filed with ROC when? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Has to be signed by the designated partner. Then annual return also has to be filed with ROC when? Within 60 days from the end of the financial year. Then audit will be applicable. Accounting standards and auditing standards will be applicable as recommended by ICAI in consultation with NAFRA. Then we learned 4 documents will become public documents. What are the 4 documents? Incorporation document, name of partners and changes therein, statement of accounts and solvency, annual return. These 4 documents will become like public documents, which means Any random person can come to the ROC, pay fees and inspect. Tell me the four once again. Incorporation document, name of partners and changes therein, statement of accounts and solvency, and annual return. Okay. Then if any person is giving any false statement or is omitting material fact means what? Hiding important information from any return, statement or document, that person will be punished. What's the punishment? Maximum 2 years imprisonment and 1 lakh to 5 lakhs fine. Okay. Then this part you understood, everybody. Here remember the three keywords. Okay. ADS. Answer any question, make any declaration, supply any details or particulars. So what is happening over here? Tell me, everybody. Whom are we giving power to? In this entire discussion, we're giving power to ROC. ROC can go to whom? ROC can go to any person. Who will this any person be? Anybody. Present partner, former partner, designated partner, employee. ROC can go to any person and require how many things? Three things. A for answer to any question. D for declaration. S for supply of particulars. Now, if this person does not provide the information, or this person is providing information, but according to ROC, he is not satisfied, then what's the key word? What ROC will do? ROC will summon that person. Summon that person to appear before whom? Either before him or before the inspector or before any other public officer. And then that person will have to answer the question, give the declaration or submit the particulars. Alright, everybody. So till here I've given you a revision. We've done multiple revisions. You can't give any excuse now. Till here you should be nice and confident. Okay. Now come guys, come to our next discussion. Our next discussion is about compounding. Extremely important. Put as many star marks as you want. It's a very crucial concept. The problem that happens over here is students are trying to learn this concept without even understanding what it is. That is why they are not understanding and they are not able to learn. Very simple concept it is actually. I'll help you understand. Listen to me. See, I'll tell you what exactly happens over here. Imagine that there's a person. Okay? And this person has done an offense. Now what will happen? We will file a case against this person. That case will go on for years and years. We will have to pay court fees. We will have to hire a lawyer, pay lawyer fees. Time also will get wasted. Money also will get wasted. And the case will keep going on for years and years. So instead, we have an option called compounding. This word compounding is nothing but settling. Compounding is nothing but settling. So here what happens is this person has done an offense. Now this offense is an offense which is punished with fine only. There's no imprisonment. Only that kind of offenses we're talking about. If imprisonment is involved, we're not talking about those offenses. We're talking only about those offenses which are punished with fine only. So what we can do is this person, instead of going to the court and all, we can simply do compounding. That is, we can simply settle the matter. That is, whatever fine is applicable for this offense, we will call this fine as compounding fee. He can simply pay this compounding fees and we can close the matter. We can dispose the matter. Understanding the broad overview? Yes guys. So in compounding, we're simply settling the matter. No need to go to the court and all. No need to hire a lawyer, pay court fees, nothing. We will simply settle the matter. Whatever fine was applicable for the offense, you can simply pay that fine. We will call it as compounding fees now. Pay that compounding fees and we will close the matter. Now the whole complication is the process of compounding. See, to do the compounding, application has to be filed with whom? Application has to be filed with ROC. But problem is, ROC does not have the power to compound. Power to compound is with whom? Power to compound is with regional director or any other officer not below the rank of regional director, which means regional director or any other officer who is equal to or above the rank of the RD. So application we have to give to ROC, but ROC can't compound the offense. What ROC will do? ROC will forward the application along with his comments. ROC will forward to RD or any other officer not below the rank of RD. This person will then compound the offense. So once this person compounds the offense, they will also inform the ROC about it. So this is a broad overview of the entire matter. Then one more thing let me tell you, then I will take you to the theory. One more thing let me tell you. See, let us say that this offense is compounded. Okay, let us say a case is not filed for this offense. Till now case is not filed and the offense got compounded. Now tell me, will the case be filed later for this offense? Case was not filed and the offense got compounded. So now for this offense, case cannot be filed, guys, because it's already compounded. So story is over. But there's also one possibility that case is already filed. Okay. And this case is still pending. Are you listening? Case is already filed in the court, but the case is still pending. And meanwhile, what I did in the side, I went and I got the offense compounded. So when this happens, once the offense is compounded, ROC will inform the court that court, listen, like this, the offense is now compounded, and what will happen to the case? The case will get disposed in the court. Understanding? So if the case is not even filed and if the offense is compounded, then that's all. Story is over. Now for that offense, again case cannot be filed. But however, case is filed and the case is still going on. It is still pending. Meanwhile, if I go and get the offense compounded, then ROC will inform the court that like this, the offense is compounded. Then the court will dispose the case and the case will get closed there itself. All these points understood? Okay. Then one more thing, guys, is one more interesting point. There's a limitation period concept over here. Are you aware of that? There's a limitation period of 3 years, which means once the offense is compounded, in the next 3 years, for the same offense, I can't ask for compounding again. Understanding? Once the offense is compounded, next 3 years, if I do the same offense again, I can't ask for compounding again. After 3 years, again I can do the offense, again I can ask for compounding. So limitation period is 3 years. Once the offense is compounded, next 3 years, we can't ask for compounding for the same offense. So this was a broad understanding of the concept. Now come, guys, the keywords, the theory, the language, the real concept. Let's see if we are understanding. Listen to me now. Point number 1, we'll go step by step, okay? So which offense can be compounded? Which offense are we talking about? Remember, I told you we're talking only about those offenses which are punished with fine only. If the offense is punished with imprisonment, then don't come to this concept. This compounding concept will apply only for those offenses which are punished with fine only. Okay. Then that person who has committed that offense, he has to pay compounding fee. What is a compounding fee? Compounding fee is nothing but whatever is a fine which is applicable for the offense, that only is a compounding fees. Now, whatever is a minimum fine for that offense, that will become the minimum compounding fee. Whatever is a maximum fine for the offense, that will become the maximum compounding fee. So in simple words, whatever we were calling as fine earlier, under compounding, we will call it as compounding fees. So whatever is a minimum fine for that offense, that will become the minimum compounding fees. Whatever is a maximum fine for the offense, that will become the maximum compounding fees. Okay. Then application for compounding we have to make to whom? Application we have to make to ROC. But does ROC have the power to compound the offense? No. ROC will forward the application. He will forward the application along with his comments to whom? To regional director or any other officer not below the rank of regional director. Okay. Then that regional director or that other officer will then compound the offense. Then after this, remember we learned that once the compounding is done, we have to inform the ROC. ROC shall be intimated about it within 7 days from compounding. We have to inform the ROC about it. Perfect clarity, everybody. Tell me, which offense can be compounded? Only those offenses which are punished with fine only they can be compounded. So here in compounding, you'll have to pay compounding fees. Nothing but the fine. So whatever is the minimum fine will become the minimum compounding fees. Whatever is the maximum fine will become the maximum compounding fees. Then application has to be given to whom? To ROC. Does ROC have the power to compound? No. What will ROC do? ROC will forward that application along with his comments to whom? To regional director or any other officer but not below the rank of regional director. That person will compound the offense. Once the offense is compounded, ROC has to be intimated about it within how much time? Within 7 days time. Till here, are you perfectly clear? Now come to the limitation period point. Once the offense is compounded, from that date, we will see 3 years. In this period, similar offense if you commit again. Understanding? Once the offense is compounded, we will count from that date, 3 years we will count. In this 3 years, similar offense if you commit again, then again we will not do compounding for you. In simple words, in 3 years, for one offense, you can get compounding only once. So in those 3 years, similar offense if you commit again don't come for compounding. But after 3 years, you can commit the similar offense once again, we will again compound it for you. So every 3 years, one kind of offense, you can ask for compounding only once. Alright, then remember the part I was talking about filing the case. This is that part. See, first of all, don't get scared looking at this word instituting prosecution. It's a big word, but simple meaning. Instituting prosecution means what? It is nothing but, in simple words, it is filing a case. It is nothing but filing a case. So remember we learned if offense is compounded before filing the case. Remember my first situation. Case is not filed till now. Before that itself, the offense is compounded. Then for that offense, no prosecution shall be instituted, which means for that offense, no case shall be filed because it is already compounded. Then remember my second situation. My second situation was we have already filed the case. Offense is compounded after instituting prosecution. So which means we have already filed the case. After that, if the offense is compounded, then we learned ROC will inform the court about the compounding. Once the ROC informs the court about the compounding, the offender will get discharged, the case will get disposed. You're able to recall this, guys? This is nothing but this last part which I told you over here. So if the case is not filed yet, if the prosecution is not instituted yet, and already if the offense gets compounded, then for that offense, case cannot be filed. But however, if prosecution is already instituted and the proceedings are still pending before the court, meanwhile, if the offense gets compounded, then ROC will inform the court about it. The court will discharge the offender and the case will get disposed. Alright guys. Then comes one last point over here. This be careful, okay? It's an untested area. High chances of them asking this. So what happens is, let's say I did an offense. That is why I'm coming to compounding, because I did an offense. What offense I did? I did not file some return, or I did not file some account, or I did not file some document. So some filing offense I did not file some document. Okay. So I came for compounding. I came to this process of compounding. I wanted to settle the matter. Now what will happen is the RD or any other person not below the rank of RD, that person can ask me to, okay, fine. Now file the return. Now file the account. Now file the document. Are you understanding what is happening? I'll repeat again. I did one offense. What offense I did? I did not file a return, or I did not file some statement of accounts, or I did not file some document. This offense I did. Because I committed an offense, I am trying to do the compounding process. I want to settle the matter. So I am trying to get the offense compounded. Matter will go to whom? Who will compound the offense? RD or any other officer not below the rank of RD. They will compound the offense. So before compounding the offense, they can tell me, right, that okay, fine, whatever return document you did not file, now file it. They can ask me to file it now. So when they ask me to file it now, I have to file it within the prescribed time. I have to file it. If I don't file, then the maximum fine will become 2 times the amount which is given in the section. Get understanding or not? Yes, so this is a very interesting point. In compounding process, the regional director or the officer not below the rank of regional director, the person who's going to compound the offense, that person can ask me to rectify the default. That person can ask me to now file the return or file the document within prescribed time. I have to do it. If I don't do it, then whatever is a fine for that particular offense, that fine will become double. The maximum fine will become 2 times the amount which is given in the section. Tell me you've understood this point? Yes, this is your entire compounding discussion. Nicely you've understood, everybody, the whole of the compounding concept. Yes guys, now come on, come to our next discussion. Next discussion is something very simple. Assignment and transfer of partnership right. I'll help you understand. Imagine there are 2 people in the story. We have this person Mr. Red and we have this person Mr. Green. Okay, Red happens to be a partner of the LLP. Now Red, what he is doing is he is assigning to Green. What is he assigning to Green? 2 things. He is assigning his share in the profits and losses of the LLP. So whatever is his profit share or loss share in the LLP, he is assigning his share in the profit or loss to Green, or and he's assigning his right to receive distributions. So he's assigning two things to Green. He's assigning his share in the profit or loss in the LLP, or he's assigning his right in the distributions. For example, let's say he has the right to get salary from LLP, for example, salary or remuneration, or let's say as per the LLP agreement he has a right to get interest from the LLP, let us say. So this partner, Mr. Red, he is having the right to get share of profit from the LLP. He is having the right to get some distributions from the LLP. What is he doing? He is assigning all this to some other person. So when he does this, can I call Red as the transferor? Can I call Mr. Red as the assigner? Yes, guys. And can I call Green as the transferee? Can I call Green as the assignee? You agree with me? So there is a partner. That partner is assigning two things: share in profits and losses and right to receive distributions. You will write both the keywords. He is assigning his right to get share in the profits and losses. He is assigning his right to receive distributions as per the LLP agreement. So if he does this assignment, question number 1, can he first of all assign like this? Yes, he can assign like this. Question number 2, if he assigns like this, does it mean he is not a partner anymore? No. He will continue to be the partner. Question number 3, if he assigns like this, will LLP come to an end? No. LLP will still continue. Question number 4, does this person Green, does this transferee become partner now? No. He doesn't become partner. Question number 5, can this transferee now come to the LLP and participate in the LLP's management? Can this Green come to the LLP now and ask for information, accounts and all from the LLP now? No. That's all, guys. So the following rights can be assigned, can be transferred. What are the rights? Right to get share in the profits and losses and the right to receive distributions as per LLP agreement. Both the rights can be transferred, can be assigned. But this transfer does not result in disassociation of partner, which means Red continues to be partner. He does not get disassociated from the LLP. Then it will not result in dissolution or winding up of the LLP, which means Red continues to be the partner. Then one more point on the virtue of this transfer. Will the transferee or assignee, that is Green, can he participate in the management of the LLP? He cannot. He cannot participate in the management. Transferee does not become the partner. So Green cannot participate in the management of the LLP. Green cannot access information with respect to transactions of the LLP. Green will not have any rights against LLP. There is no contract between the LLP and Green. So Green will not have any rights in the LLP. Alright, guys, so this was our entire discussion about assignment and transfer. Two big concepts we've learned now. We learned about compounding and we learned about assignment and transfer. So till here, whatever we had learned, I had given you a revision also. Remember the ADS. So till here, I had given you a revision of the revision as well. So after this, we spoke about compounding and then we discussed about this assignment point. Then listen to 2-3 more small points and then I'll again come back and give you a set of revisions again. Conversion into LLP. Remember in the beginning part of our discussion we learned, guys, partnership firm can be converted into LLP. Private company can be converted into LLP. Unlisted public company also can be converted into LLP. The process for conversion is given in 2nd schedule, 3rd schedule and 4th schedule. But can a listed company be converted into LLP? No, listed company cannot be converted into LLP. Okay, now what happens upon this conversion? Pure procedural concept only, guys, nothing difficult. So what is the effect of conversion? Once ROC is satisfied that you have followed the process which is given in this schedule, once ROC is satisfied, ROC will register the documents and ROC will give a certificate of registration. Basically, once the process and all is properly followed, LLP will now come into existence. Within 15 days, that new LLP will inform the registrar of firms or ROC about conversion. What does this mean? If partnership firm got converted into LLP, after the conversion is over, LLP has to inform the registrar of firms about the conversion. If private company or unlisted company is getting converted into LLP, after conversion is over, this LLP has to inform ROC about the conversion. Okay. So point number 1, once ROC is satisfied that you have followed the schedule process properly, ROC will register the documents, the new LLP will come into the existence, and ROC will give a new certificate of incorporation. Then once LLP has come into existence like this, within 15 days, LLP will inform the registrar of the firms or the ROC, as the case may be, about the conversion. You understood, right? When will we inform registrar of firms? When will we inform ROC? If partnership firm is converting into LLP, we'll have to inform registrar of firms. If company is converting into LLP, we have to inform ROC about the conversion. Okay. Then from the date of registration stated in the certificate, the LLP will come into existence. So ROC will give the certificate of registration, right? In that certificate, a date of registration will be mentioned. So whatever date of registration is mentioned in the certificate, from that date, the LLP will come into existence. Then all the properties, assets, interests, rights, privileges, liabilities, obligations, everything from the old entity will now get transferred to the new entity. And lastly, that old firm, that old company will stand dissolved. Simple guys. So we have to follow the process of conversion which is given in the schedule. If ROC is satisfied that yes, we have followed the process properly, ROC will register the documents and ROC will give a certificate of registration. Now, once this is done, whatever date is written in the certificate, from that date, the LLP comes into existence. Now, from the date of conversion, within 15 days, LLP has to inform the registrar of firms or ROC, as the case may be, about the conversion. Then, once a conversion happens, all the properties, assets, liabilities, rights, obligations of the old entity will get transferred to the new entity. Then what will happen to the old entity? Old entity will stand dissolved. Alright, this is about a conversion discussion. Then comes our next discussion, which is about winding up of LLP. Remember, LLP is an artificial person. Even if a partner dies, even if a partner resigns, LLP will still continue. LLP can be brought to an end only through the winding up process. Now, either the winding up will happen voluntarily, where the partners among themselves they will decide and they will wind up the LLP, or the LLP can be through the NCLT, through the tribunal. Now, when will the tribunal interfere? Only in these 5 cases only the tribunal will interfere. Number 1, when the LLP decides to be wound up by the tribunal. When the LLP decides that the winding up will be through the NCLT, then NCLT will interfere. Then, for more than 6 months, LLP has continued with less than 2 partners. The NCLT will interfere and they will announce winding up of the LLP. Then if the LLP has defaulted in filing statement of accounts and solvency, annual return for 5 consecutive years, if they have not filed these documents with the ROC, then NCLT will interfere and will pass an order for winding up of the LLP. Then if LLP has acted against the sovereignty, integrity or security of a country, like for example, if the LLP is participating in any terrorism activities, then the NCLT will interfere and will order winding up of the LLP. And lastly, any other just and equitable grounds, like for example, let's say this LLP is not able to repay liabilities, there's a deadlock between the partners are not talking to each other, any other just and equitable grounds also, NCLT will interfere and announce winding up of the LLP. Perfect, guys. So LLP can either be wound up voluntarily or it can be wound up by NCLT. Only in these 5 cases only the LLP can be wound up by the NCLT. Alright, then a few small concepts we have. We have foreign LLP. Foreign LLP means an LLP which is incorporated outside India, but it has a place of business in India. You tell me, can foreign LLP be a partner in another? Can a foreign LLP be a partner in an Indian LLP? Yes, remember, in an LLP, individual, body corporate, both can be partners. And remember, body corporate definition, it includes company, then it includes Indian LLP, it includes foreign company, it includes foreign LLP. So even foreign LLP is a body corporate, and therefore even a foreign LLP can be considered as they can be appointed as a partner in an Indian LLP. So foreign LLP can be a partner in an Indian LLP. Okay. Then just like how you have small companies, similarly you have small LLPs. So small LLPs, the capital contribution is not more than 25 lakhs and the turnover is not more than 40 lakhs. So capital contribution is within 25 lakhs, turnover is within 40 lakhs. If the MCA wants the contribution number, they can increase up to 5 crores. The turnover number, they can increase up to 50 crores. But majorly it's important for you to remember this part. Contribution has to be within 25 lakhs, turnover has to be within 40 lakhs. Okay. So till here, a couple of points that we have learned. Can we see another revision of the revision, please? Yes, so till here just a few points. I'll just give you one quick reminder, and then the last part of LLP Act will begin after that. Okay, just a few points. So till this ADS, till here I had given you the second revision also. So from compounding I'll start. Tell me first of all, which offense can I compound? Every offense? No, only those offenses which are punished by fine only. Only those offenses we can compound. For compounding, we have to pay something called as compounding fee. Minimum how much compounding fee I have to pay, whatever is a minimum fine. Then maximum how much compounding fee you will make me pay, maximum whatever is a maximum fine. Okay. Then for compounding, to whom we have to file application? ROC. But can ROC compound the offense? No. What will ROC do? ROC will forward the application along with comments to a regional director or any other officer not below the rank of regional director. Okay, that regional director or officer, they only will compound the offense. Alright, then after that, tell me the next point we learned. Once the compounding is done, we have to inform ROC within how much time? Remember, within 7 days we have to inform ROC about it. Okay, then once this compounding is done, what's the limitation period? Limitation period is 3 years. In this 3 years period, again if I do the same offense, will you again compound the offense for me? No, again you will not compound the offense for me. But after 3 years, if I do the same offense, will you compound the offense for me? Yes, it can be compounded. Then remember that prosecution point, that filing case point. So if offense is not compounded, if the prosecution is not instituted till now, which means case is not filed till now, but I got the offense compounded. Now for that offense, can you file the case? You can't file the case because the offense is already compounded. But however, if the case has been filed, but the case is still pending, meanwhile, if I get the offense compounded, then what will happen? ROC will bring to the notice of the court that the offense is compounded, and then the court will discharge the offender and the case will get disposed. Okay. Then remember this part, guys, this part of our discussion, this was important. If the offense is relating to filing some document or filing some return, then the RD or the officer can ask the partner, designated partner, LLP as a case may be, to do the filing. If we don't do the filing still, then the maximum fine will become 2 times the applicable fine under that particular section. Then we spoke about assignment and transfer. Here we learned that, first of all, can a partner assign, can he transfer his rights? Yes, he can. What rights he can transfer? Remember 2 rights we learnt over here. 2 rights he can transfer. Number 1, his right to get a share in the profits and losses of the LLP. That he can transfer. Also, he can transfer his right to receive distributions as per LLP agreement. Will you remember both the terms? Share in the profits and losses, distributions as per LLP agreement. Both of these he can transfer. Okay. But if he transfers like this, then does it mean he ceases to be a partner? No, he continues to be a partner. Will this new person, will this transferee become the new partner of the LLP? No. Can the transferee participate in the management of the LLP? No. Can the transferee ask for information from the LLP? No. Basically, between the LLP and the transferee, there are no obligations, there are no contracts. Okay. Then we learned about conversion. Firm can be converted into LLP. Private company can be converted into LLP. Unlisted public company can be converted into LLP, but listed company cannot be converted into LLP. What's the process over here? First, we have to follow the process which is given as per the schedules. Once ROC is satisfied, ROC will give a certificate of registration. In the certificate of registration, one date will be mentioned. From that date, the LLP will come into existence. Once this conversion has happened within 15 days, LLP has to inform registrar of firms or ROC as the case may be about the conversion. Then once a conversion happens, all the assets, liabilities, properties, privileges, obligations, everything from the old entity will get transferred to the new entity, and the old entity will get dissolved. Okay. Then we learned about winding up. Two parts of winding up we learned. One is voluntary winding up and the other is winding up through the NCLT. When will NCLT interfere? Only in 5 cases. When LLP decides that they want to be wound up only through NCLT, then NCLT will interfere. Then for more than 6 months, if we continue with only one partner, the NCLT will interfere. They will order winding up of the LLP. Then for 5 consecutive financial years, we did not file the statement of accounts insolvency, annual return if we don't file, they will order winding up of the LLP. LLP acted against the sovereignty, integrity or security of our country, any other just an equitable grounds. Then foreign LLP simple, incorporated outside India but has a place of business in India. Then small LLP, two numbers you have to remember over here. One is contribution. Contribution has to be within 25 lakhs and turnover has to be within 40 lakhs. Okay. Now are you ready for the second part of our discussion? The last part of our discussion, guys. Yes, in this part I'll tell you what concepts we are left with. We have to talk about whistleblowing. A small set of 2 to 3 concepts and then compromise, arrangement and reconstruction. Just a few concepts left. Till here, if you've paid so much attention and if you've grasped everything so well till here, in this last part, I'm not going to compromise. I hope even you don't compromise. Okay. Will you listen to me carefully? This whistleblowing is also important. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in Jan 25 examination, a full-blown 5 marks question was asked just from this much concept of whistleblowing. Okay. So listen to me carefully. It's important. I'll help you understand. I'll give you one example first and then we will come to the situation. The example is relating to cricket. You will be able to understand it very easily that way. Let's say there's a cricket team. In this cricket team, there is one person, Mr. Red. He is also a team member. Now, in this cricket team, let's say solid match fixing is happening. So, you know what this Red does? Red comes and gives information about this match fixing to the umpire. He tells the umpire like this, in this team, full match fixing is going on. Now the umpire launches an investigation and it is, after the investigation, it is concluded that yes, this team was actually doing this offense of match fixing. So this team is now punished. Let's say this team is banned for 2 years. For the next 2 years, they can't play any match. And also each member in this team has to pay 10,000 rupees penalty. This punishment is given to the team. Now see, even Red is a member of this team. So don't you think even he will get punished? But don't you think the umpire, the authorities, they were able to get to know about this match fixing issue, they were able to get to know about this offense only because Red came and informed. This person, Mr. Red, he will be called as whistleblower. So the person who gives information about the offense or about the violation, he is called the whistleblower. Because of him only, the investigation was launched. Because of him only, the team was held to be liable. The team was convicted of the offense. So now, even he is a member of the team. Don't you think it's unfair if I ask him also to pay 10,000 rupees penalty? So we have to give him some favor, some benefit. So that is why we will either reduce his penalty or we will waive his penalty. So whatever is a whistleblower's penalty, either it will be reduced or it will be waived. Then listen, whoever is a captain of this team, don't you think this captain will now start taking action against Mr. Red? This captain will start saying that Mr. Red, you betrayed the team. So they might start thinking, let's remove Red from the team. They may dismiss him. They may harass him that why did you go and complain like this? So that is why the law clearly says that the whistleblower should get protection. What protection? He should not be dismissed. He should not be harassed. He should not be suspended. Just because he gave this information, for that reason, he should not be harassed. Same concept, guys. Come to LLP Act now. Same concept. So even over here, what is happening? There is some partner of the LLP or there is some employee of the LLP. I will call this person as the whistleblower. Okay. So this person, he is providing useful information during investigation. Because of that information, the LLP or the partner or some employee is getting convicted. Exactly same like the story which I gave you. So there's a partner or there is an employee who is acting like a whistleblower. This partner or this employee is coming to the court or the tribunal and providing useful information, and that information is resulting in that LLP or the partner or the employee getting convicted. So when this happens, this partner, this employee, this whistleblower, whatever is his penalty, that penalty will get reduced or the penalty will get waived. So the court or tribunal may reduce or waive the penalty against the whistleblower if it is satisfied that the whistleblower has provided useful information during investigation and that information has led to the LLP, some partner or some employee getting convicted. Okay, then do you remember I told you about that harassing point? Same point we have even over here. The partner or the employee, basically the whistleblower, he should not be discharged, demoted, suspended, threatened or harassed because of his providing information. One explanation sorted. It's just like the example which I gave you. If you understand that cricket team example, this will literally become like a cakewalk for you. Okay, so he cannot be discharged, demoted, suspended, threatened or harassed just because he gave information. Okay, and because he gave information and because that information led to LLP partner or employee being convicted, the court may reduce or waive his penalty. What are the two keywords over here? Reduce or waive his penalty. Okay, then come to the next set of discussions, guys. Financial year. So in financial year concept, even in LLP, my financial year will start on 1st April and it will end on 31st March. Now in Companies Act, you have learnt that if the company is incorporated in Jan, Feb or March, in this period Jan to March, if the company is incorporated, then the first financial year will not end on the coming 31st March, it will end on next 31st March. So because of this point, under Companies Act, the first financial year of the company can be up to 15 months long. Similarly, in LLP Act, the provision says if the LLP is incorporated in October to March, which means LLP is incorporated after 30th September, which means October to March, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. In these 6 months, if the LLP is incorporated, then the first financial year will end on the next 31st March, not on coming 31st March, next 31st March, which means under LLP Act, the first financial year of the LLP can be up to 18 months long. Okay, this is about your financial year point. Then comes your next discussion about payment of additional fees. Very simple point. In case I have to file any document or any return with the ROC, and if I don't file it within the prescribed time, it's okay. File it late. But if you file it late, you'll have to pay some additional fees. That's all, guys. Then comes your next point, enhanced punishment. If the LLP, partner, designated partner, if they commit the same offense second time or subsequent time, so same offense if they commit multiple times, then the fine will become 2 times the applicable amount. Whatever is the applicable fine in that particular section, the fine will become 2 times. Understanding, everybody? So in case the LLP or the partner or the designated partner, same offense, if they commit multiple times, then the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fine will become double. The fine will become 2 times the amount of the fine. Can you tell me where else you saw that fine will become 2 times? Remember, in compounding discussion, we had learned that if the offense is relating to filing some document or filing some return, then the RD can ask you to now file the document, now file the return. If you still don't file, then the fine will become, the maximum fine will become 2 times the applicable fine in that particular section. Something very similar you have even over here. If the same offense, if you keep committing the same offense again and again, then the maximum fine will become 2 times the amount of the fine in that particular section. Okay, and then comes our last discussion of this chapter, compromise, arrangement or reconstruction. Are you ready for this discussion? Are you comfortable till here? Yes. So the last time I gave you your revision was still winding up. Then whistleblowing we've understood properly. Financial year point we've understood. These 2 small concepts you've understood. Now come to our last discussion, which is compromise, arrangement or reconstruction. Let me give you one small understanding first. In compounding we did that. We first had a brief understanding and then when we started learning compounding, it was very easy for us. So same way, let me give you one small overview of this concept first and then we will come to the main part of our discussion. Very simple concept, guys. Nothing to worry first of all. Okay. Point number one, first understand what is the meaning of these words. The first word I've taken is compromise. In compromise, what happens is between the LLP and partners or between the LLP and creditors, some dispute is going on. And we are trying to settle that dispute. We are trying to arrive at a compromise. Like for example, LLP is not able to repay creditors. So they are arriving at a compromise that okay fine, at least pay 70% of the liability. That becomes a compromise. There's a dispute going on and we're trying to arrive at the middle ground. We're trying to compromise and arrive at the middle ground. Okay, pay at least 70% for example. That's the first word over here, compromise. Second word is arrangement. In arrangement, guys, I'll tell you, even over here, same thing between the LLP and the partners, between the LLP and the creditors. One second. So between them, even over here, some arrangement is happening, but this time there's no dispute. There's no dispute between them. We are just trying to change some clauses in their contract. We're just trying to arrive at an arrangement. Like for example, let's say as per the agreement between the LLP and creditors, for example, it was decided that the EMI will be paid every quarter. But now they are changing, no, it has to be paid every month. So there is some reorganization happening. There's some reorganization happening of that particular agreement between LLP and partners. In that agreement, there is some change happening. Between LLP and creditors, in their arrangement, some change is happening. Some reorganization is happening in the contract between the parties. This is compromise. Dispute is there. In arrangement, there is no dispute. Okay. So the same thing which is happening in compromise, some change in the contract. Without dispute, it becomes arrangement. You understood the meaning of compromise and arrangement first. So in compromise, dispute is going on between the LLP and partners or between LLP and creditors. And we are trying to settle that dispute. We are trying to arrive at a compromise. We are trying to arrive at a middle ground. In arrangement, what happens? Here, there's no dispute going on. We're just reorganizing the contract. Okay. Reconstruction, wait, we'll come to that later. Let's talk about compromise and arrangement first. So if there's a compromise and arrangement, first of all, we will have to go to the NCLT. We can't do this without NCLT's approval. We will have to go to the NCLT. What will the NCLT do? NCLT will call a meeting. They'll order a meeting. Who is meeting? If the compromise or arrangement is between LLP and partners, they will call meeting of partners. If the compromise or arrangement is between LLP and creditors, they will call a meeting of creditors. Now, in this meeting, what should happen? In this meeting, we have to get approval of the partners or approval of the creditors as a case may be. How many partners, how many creditors? We need approval of majority of the partners or creditors as a case may be, and they must be holding at least 3/4 value. So if it is meeting of partners, I need consent of majority of the partners who are having at least 3/4 profit share. If it is meeting of creditors, I need consent of majority of creditors who are holding at least 3/4 of the loans which were given to this LLP. So we need this consent. Only when this consent we obtain, only if we obtain this consent, only then NCLT will sanction the compromise or arrangement. Once NCLT sanctions a compromise or arrangement, we have to intimate the ROC about it. Only when we intimate the ROC about it, only then this compromise or arrangement will become effective. Then even though NCLT has sanctioned this compromise or arrangement, NCLT's role will not get over. NCLT will still supervise the compromise or arrangement. At any point of time, if NCLT realizes that this compromise or arrangement cannot proceed successfully, NCLT will simply order winding up of the LLP. You got a brief idea about this entire discussion? Can we go into the topic now? It's very simple. You saw, right? That's all. This much only is the concept. So compromise or arrangement, first of all, meaning you understood. In compromise, dispute is going on between the parties. In arrangement, there is no dispute. We're just reorganizing the contract. So in compromise or arrangement, first of all, it is between whom? Either it is between LLP and creditors, or it is between LLP and partners. So can the parties by themselves do the compromise or arrangement? No. We need NCLT's consent. So first of all, we have to make an application to NCLT. Who will make this application? It depends. If the compromise is between LLP and creditors, either LLP can do the application, or creditor can do the application. If it is between LLP and partners, either LLP can make the application or partner can make the application. If the LLP is under liquidation, then the liquidator can make the application. Simple. Once application is made, what will NCLT do? NCLT will order a meeting of the creditors or a meeting of the partners, as the case may be. In this meeting, we need consent of majority of the parties who are holding at least 3/4 in value. Majority holding at least 3/4 value. Okay. Once we get this consent, NCLT will sanction the compromise or arrangement. Once it is sanctioned, NCLT's order has to be filed with ROC. Within 30 days, it has to be filed with the ROC. Order will be effective only after it is so filed. Tell me, where else have you seen like this? That file it with ROC, then only it will become effective. Where else have you seen like this? I can think totally 3 places now. Place number 1, change of registered office address. Place number 2, cessation of partnership interest. And now place number 3, compromise or arrangement. So we have to file it with ROC, then only it will become effective. Okay. Then after this, remember we learned that even though NCLT has sanctioned the compromise or arrangement, their role is not over. They will still continue to supervise. They will still continue to give directions. And at any point of time, if NCLT is satisfied that this compromise or arrangement cannot be implemented, they will order binding up of the LLP. Easy, guys. Perfect clarity. Yes, so this was our entire discussion with respect to compromise or arrangement. NCLT will order a meeting. In that meeting, I need consent of majority of the parties holding at least 3/4 in value. Then NCLT will sanction. Once it is sanctioned, copy of NCLT order has to be filed with ROC within 30 days. Only then that order will be effective. And even after, and one more thing, this punishment is important. What is this punishment? What happens if NCLT's order is not filed with ROC within 30 days? This punishment is very important. The LLP will also be punished. The designated partner will also be punished. 10,000 rupees penalty. In case of continuing default, further penalty 100 rupees per day. Maximum 1 lakh for LLP, 50,000 for designated partner. This is important. Okay. Then we learned that even though NCLT has passed the order, still NCLT can supervise the implementation. They can give directions. At any point of time, if NCLT is satisfied that this compromise or arrangement cannot be implemented, then they will order winding up of the LLP. So with this, our compromise and arrangement discussion is over. Now what are we left with? We are left with reconstruction of LLP. Now what is reconstruction? Reconstruction can either be demerger or it can be amalgamation. Both will come under reconstruction of LLP. So there's reconstruction, that is either demerger, amalgamation and all. Then in that case, again we have to go to the NCLT. Now when application is made to NCLT for sanctioning compromise or arrangement, if it is shown to the NCLT that the application is under a scheme of reconstruction or amalgamation, reconstruction of the LLP means split. Demerger, LLP is getting split into 2 entities. Amalgamation of 2 LLPs means 2 LLPs are becoming 1 LLP. Then in that case, if it is reconstruction or if it is amalgamation, then in that case, NCLT, when they are passing the order, in the order, they will make a provision for these 4 things. When the NCLT is passing an order allowing demerger of LLP, which is nothing but reconstruction, if the NCLT is passing an order for amalgamation of 2 LLPs into 1 LLP, then in that order, the NCLT will write about these 4 things. Thing number 1, transfer of whole or part of transferor's assets, liabilities and all to the transferee LLP. Legal proceedings against the transferor LLP will be continued against the transferee LLP. Dissolution without winding up of the transferor LLP and provisions for persons who are dissenting. I'll help you understand what this means. Let's take one situation. Let's say we have LLP 1 and LLP 2. Both are merging into one LLP. Okay. So in this part of the discussion, we're talking about reconstruction and amalgamation. In reconstruction, one LLP is splitting into 2 LLPs. In amalgamation, 2 LLPs are becoming 1 LLP. So for both, same discussion only. So my example over here is amalgamation. So whenever we go to the NCLT with an amalgamation request, NCLT will pass an order allowing it. In that order, NCLT will write these 4 things. First thing, the old LLPs, they will become the transferor entities. And this new LLP will become the transferee entity. So in the order, NCLT will write about all the assets, liabilities of this transferor have to be transferred to the transferee. That's the first point. Undertaking, properties, liabilities have to be transferred to the transferee. Then this transferor LLP, here maybe some case is going on, some court case is going on. So all the proceedings, all the legal proceedings against a transferor LLP, even that will be transferred to the transferee LLP. So legal proceedings pending against the transferor LLP will be continued against the transferee LLP. Second point. Third point, what will happen to this old entity now? Old entity, dissolution without winding up will be ordered by the NCLT. So this transferor entity will come to an end. Then lastly, there will still be some people, some persons who are not okay with this amalgamation. There will be some parties who are dissenting. Dissenting means what? Dissenting is opposite of consenting. They are not consenting. They are dissenting. They are not okay with this amalgamation. They are not okay with the reconstruction. So how will we deal with those persons? For that also provision has to be made in NCLT's order. Understanding, guys? So when there's reconstruction or amalgamation, again we will run to whom? NCLT. NCLT will pass an order sanctioning. In that order, NCLT will write about these four things. Assets and liabilities to be transferred. Legal proceedings to be transferred. Old entity, dissolution without winding up. And what to do with dissenting persons? These four things will be written in the NCLT's order. Okay, and even over here, this compromise, this amalgamation reconstruction will be sanctioned only if NCLT has received a report from ROC that affairs of LLP have not been conducted in a manner prejudicial to the interest of partners or public interest. What does this mean? The NCLT will pass an order sanctioning this amalgamation only if the NCLT first gets a report from ROC. What report? That this LLP has not done anything which is against the interest of partners. This LLP has not done anything which is against public interest. So the ROC has to first give a report to the NCLT. It's like good conduct report. Like how in school you get conduct certificate, right? Like when you have to leave one school and join the next school, you go to the former school and you ask for conduct certificate, good conduct certificate, same thing. So when we want this amalgamation to happen, we'll have to first go to ROC and get a good conduct certificate. What certificate? A report saying that yes, this LLP has not done anything which is against partners' interest. This LLP has not done anything which is against public interest. We have to get this report, submit it to the NCLT. Only then NCLT will allow this amalgamation. Okay, and lastly, remember, LLP cannot be amalgamated with a company. LLP can be amalgamated with another LLP, but LLP cannot be amalgamated with a company. Got it, everybody? That's it. So this was our entire discussion of compromise and arrangement. So here, if you noticed, first point, our first discussion was about compromise and arrangement. Then second discussion was about reconstruction and amalgamation. So in compromise and arrangement, it's between LLP and creditors or between LLP and partners. We first have to make an application to NCLT. Who will make application? Either LLP or creditors or partners, or if the LLP is under liquidation, then liquidator. Okay. Then NCLT will order a meeting of creditors or partners as the case may be. In that we need consent of majority of the parties holding at least 3/4 in value. Once we get that consent, NCLT will sanction the compromise or arrangement, but that sanction will not be effective until we file it with ROC. NCLT's order we have to file with ROC within 30 days. Only then that sanction will be effective. Then we learnt, even though NCLT has sanctioned, they can still supervise the implementation. They can also give directions. At any point of time, if NCLT is of the view that this compromise arrangement cannot be implemented, they will order winding up. Then we learnt about reconstruction and amalgamation. Here we learnt when NCLT passes an order for reconstruction or amalgamation, in that order they will mention these 4 things. But before NCLT can pass this order, first we need report from ROC. What report? A report saying that this LLP has not done anything against the interest of partners. This LLP has not done anything against public interest. First we need this ROC report, only then NCLT will sanction, and we learnt LLP cannot be amalgamated with a company. Got it, everybody? Yes, that's it. So this was our entire LLP Act revision. We did a revision of the revision, We did multiple revisions. I hope with this you are sorted with these 10 marks.